And welcome in, Jims and Jimettes, to another exciting edition of No Substitute for Sports. This is episode 20 on the agenda. I'm your host, Nick Johnson. And yes, we here at the Dodge Generous Network believe Vin Diesel is the greatest actor of all time. Will he get the recognition for it? Absolutely not. And it's a goddamn travesty. Countless roles that we'll remember for a lifetime. Dom Toretto, Groot, the babysitter from the pacifier. Need I say more? Uncultured swine. All y'alls, I tell you.
Yeah.
All y'alls. Anyways, thank you for tuning in to No Substitute for Sports on the Degenerates new YouTube page. Be sure to like, subscribe, share us around if you enjoy. Follow us on the Twitter for all any hot takes throughout the day. And if you need, be sure to check out twitch.tv/sportstownshy every Friday, 1 p.m. Central for No Substitute for Sports live. I'll be going live, cleaning up anything we didn't talk about here and going over any breaking news that goes over between now and then, or maybe even that same day. Yeah, basically, DeAndre Hopkins got cut the same day. So
Wow.
that's why we do that. Plenty to talk about today, including that. After a potential choke job of the century attempt by the Miami Heat, the NBA Finals are finally set. We will preview how we think the series between the Heat and Nuggets will play out. Stanley Cup Finals are also set. We can give our best attempt at giving some little insight on that as well. So we'll talk about that. Got a fair or foul question for you about the Houston Astros. And then, if they provided by their play of the week. News around the NFL as the Cardinals cut five-time Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins. Our thoughts on where he could go potentially. Finally, WWE's Night of Champions and AEW's Double or Nothing results, reactions, and justifications, I guess, for for these two pay-per-views. Excuse me. One of them is a pay-per-view, and the other one is a premium live event. So annoying. All that, tons more in between. But before we get underway, let me introduce to you family, my friend. Introduce to you my family, my friend, my co-host, the founder and CEO of Fat Cat _ Streams, and that's with a Z. It's Mikey J. Fat Cat. How you doing tonight?
I'm great. I'm ready to jump into this. It's a great day as it's been the past couple of weeks. So let's just get it going. Let's do
Absolutely.
this thing.
I hope everyone had a phenomenal Memorial Day. We
Yeah.
kicked it off basically. Had a good old Friday too. I think we chilled out. Thursday we went and saw Fast X. Friday we went and just chill. Just a nice and chill day. Saturday chilled at the compound, had a couple brewskis, watched Game 6 at the time for the
Hmm.
NBA Eastern Conference Finals. So that was pretty cool. I know Derek
Oh
White
yeah.
ruined a wedding on that night, and then Sunday was just double or nothing. So honestly, it was a great little weekend. Great weekend. Tons of fun, tons of action, tons of sports, tons to get into. Like I said, we can do exactly that if you're ready to hop in. I gotta
Let's do it.
get in this appetizer, one and only appetizer. I feel like this is just gonna eat up all the time. We gotta talk Fast 10. We gotta talk Fast X. Boy, I mean, where to even begin? I mean,
Yes.
immediately, I'll just ask you: did you love it? Did you hate it? What was you? Just start with you, just to give an overall, because I'm all over the place and I got my thoughts, but give it here. Fast 10. What'd you think?
I'm all for the ridiculousness. I'm all for this just how stupid it is. I loved it so much just because I'm fully invested in it being just so dumb, and I love it so much because it's so stupid. It's I mean we're gonna get into it, but yeah, just
Yeah,
for I
absolutely. No,
loved it.
for all intents and purposes, we're gonna get deep. So this will be a spoiler heavy. I gave a minor spoiler, not even spoiler at all in my Friday review. So maybe listen back to that on Spotify. But if not, yeah, this is gonna be heavy spoilers right now. We're going deep diving into everything that we thought. I'm exactly with you. I mean, it jumped the shark in ridiculous last movie. They literally went to space. So I didn't know what
Hmm.
they were going to do with this one. It was one of those moments where like, what are they going to do? How are they going to deliver? And I think they kind of did. They kind of did in terms of just ridiculousness. Like we just said, it was beyond dumb in terms of the storyline. The dialogue was super cringe. It was honestly, for me, it was exhausting at times because I was laughing so hard when I shouldn't have been. But like I said, it was it was just crazy. But honestly, the driving action and the hand-to-hand combat scenes and Jason Momoa's character basically saved it. And like I said, it saved it for me just laughing through it the entire time from beginning to end. So from those three things, pretty solid. Like I said, Jason Momoa depicting this enemy, this Thanos type role for this Fast and the Furious series. I absolutely loved it. I mean, he's been getting a lot of praise for that. Again, he's not gonna get any awards for anything out of these people, but again, for what it's worth, if you go in there knowing you're just gonna get ridiculous explosions and I mean, for Christ's sake, it opens up with Dom teaching his kid doing burnouts. Like that's what an 8, 9-year-old is doing doing these giant burnouts.
Impossible. He cannot even reach the pedals. It started off on a great start.
Yeah, so immediately we knew we were in for a great one. I mean, I was out of breath within the first minute and a half
Yeah, I
already,
mean, me,
just
you, and
laughing.
my brother were just laughing the first like 5, 10 minutes just because I mean, like we were just it was family. Like we just couldn't believe it.
I say it was exhausting too because we were. I felt like we were never away. We were never away from the main characters. I felt like if this was a play, it would constantly be the main characters and everyone just on stage with the backgrounds and the settings just being pulled apart and then added together with, like I said, no one moving. It was we were constantly with somebody, something. There was nothing. Like I said, at times exhausting for whether you were laughing like I was or if you were just even trying to keep up in general. I'm sure you probably just fell off or maybe like this was this a 2.5 hour long movie? I didn't even
Yeah,
it
it was like
flew by honestly for what it was. I mean, where to even begin? I suppose he tried to blow up the Vatican with this bomb that had a moment that never had stopping momentum and it was on fire.
yeah. So they start with like a family barbecue, and then they say they're going on some mission to Rome because I had no reasoning why, and then the guy's name that's Rome is gonna be the leader or something, or Roman because his Rome is in his name, so he's the leader. And that's his arc the entire movie. I don't know if I'm a leader or not. They
Yeah.
go there and then yeah, they find out Jason Momoa is still alive from like a previous Fast and Furious movie and he's trying to kill Dom and his family and he wants to blow up the Vatican for some reason.
So yeah, I
Rolling
guess his attempt at blowing up the Vatican was that's how he created the snowball effect of, oh, I don't want you to just die, Dom Toretto. I want you to suffer by, looking bad in the public eye, being he now after that bomb situation happened, he became public enemy number one. All of his friends started to turn on him. Again, like
Oh
less and
yeah,
less.
Dom is like the number one wanted man in this movie, and it doesn't feel like it whatsoever. He's wanted, and like there's never like anyone looking for him or anything. Like it says that he's the most wanted man in the world, and nobody.
And the first cop that he meets, I mean, eventually he turns him in at the end, but he just befriends him because he saved him. Like again, it's just so
Oh
again, all plot points thrown out the window. Any sort of sense that needs to be made, gone. That's been long gone. That's probably 4 or 5 movies ago where that stuff happens. And I love your background again. That scene even before that scene right there, there's even tons before that we need to get into, but that scene right there where he just goes full MacGyver, MacGruber, and Hulk all in one, flipping over a car to protect himself. Then the
with one
oil
arm.
starts to run, so he can like light it on fire, and then later those can explode. And then he like what he rips. It does. I don't think he just picks it up off the ground. And then he uses that car door as a shield, as a Captain America shield, protective shield for them. So beyond crazy as Jason Momoa is. Isn't he like doing drones and like he has like a Gatling gun on the back of a car, just
Yeah, he's somewhere. far
Yeah, they're on
away.
the it's like we're on the same highway that you killed my father, and there wasn't even him. It was like the Rock's character that we find all the way at the end of the final after scene. I guess that was supposed to be really important too, and that sets up the next one.
Yeah, it's fun. Dom isn't even the one that killed his dad. Like
Yes,
that's it's
he just
makes
so happened to be there because he was chasing him again in whatever Fast Five, maybe Fast Six.
yeah, something like that, I
I
think.
don't know. I mean, I wish because, like I said, my Fast and the Furious screen in screen going was probably maybe even it doesn't even line up. Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, and then I stopped seeing them after Tokyo Drift. Then picked back up after Fast Nine. So we missed a lot. We
Yeah,
missed
I'll
a lot.
say I only seen the first one and I've never seen like anything else. And then I started watching just these new ones and I was like, this is so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm fully in now.
yeah, locked in, absolutely locked in. I mean, I got another couple other points, but I mean, trying to think. John Cena's character eventually gets involved, and his main mission is just to get his son from point A to point B. They fly out of a 747.
Yeah, because and apparently those kind of planes have like doors that open on the bottom, I guess, for planes, little planes to get out.
I, yeah, I'm just it's he loves just flying through the sky. He has an underground Batman lair. Again, just he's like, I'm just gonna take this this mining hill or whatever he had, and just just no
Oh
one's
yeah,
gonna
that's true.
like, oh, this cave. All right, yeah, everyone's just gonna forget about this condemned cave. Cool. You can have that, John Cena. I mean, like again, so overall, I guess we're ignoring the actual storyline because the writers ignored the storyline and it just gave us this movie. So I guess
There's
again,
one part that I keep thinking about that I just want to go
oh
over
yeah,
is
no, go.
when they were driving through the Vatican, well, when they were driving to save the Vatican, and that ball's just rolling through the street and stuff, and like so many cars are getting destroyed, and like there's the part where like Dom is just trying to protect like civilians, and the car blows up, like a bunch of cars blow up from the ball, and there's people like eating lunch outside or something, like, and he like hits over the the
Yeah, there's like
flimsy
a
like
tent.
the ottomans, yeah, that
Yeah,
are over the patios and stuff, and like
yeah,
that protects the people from the fucking flames. Like it's just like I just remember being like that was so ridiculous that those people weren't hurt from that. There was like
or
a
yeah,
big
that they
ass
didn't even check
explosion.
back in at all. It wasn't
Dom
even
just
like
knocks down this little ass thing and it saves everybody. It's just there's such oh god.
yes, obviously, yeah. The car side, the what would it be? Just the physics behind being able to move the car the way that it did and having it not crash and the wheels just ripping off of it every time it lands off of a high place. That again, love that it just ignores science and reality. So we'll take that, but yes, you're exactly right. That was a giant ball of fire. I don't know how or why they should have checked back in, be like, "Hey, we're okay. Thanks, Dom," or something like that. You're welcome. Just have something stupid like that. At that point, you can.
Yeah. There's no problem, little pig. Dom's eyes are never open when it's like a
No.
one-on-one scene.
Every
We're
every
gonna
time he
get
gets
out
mad, he
of
looks like he sucks on a lemon.
here.
I don't know if you noticed. Every time it's just like, what the fuck. Let me see a couple other points. Yeah, just the
Little
dialogue
pig.
itself is cringe. Just yeah, again,
Oh,
overall the if we're ignoring the storyline, is Jason Momoa's character is getting revenge for his dad. He wants to drag it out. He doesn't want to kill Dom right away. He needs intel, but and somehow he's the most sadistic man in the world. He's also always 5 steps ahead of Dom and his team. He uh, went into their bank account and dispersed all their money to terrorist groups and shit like that or whatever else, like a bunch of mercenaries that are out, that are going to be out to kill them, considering he's again America's most wanted and shit like that.
But don't worry,
um,
it's fine because Roman just has money taped
yeah,
to him
he has
at
enough
all
money.
times.
He doesn't trust. There's always one of them that just doesn't trust the bank. So he got a bunch of money underneath his pillow. He's got a bunch of money strapped to his chest and his balls and everything. So there you go. He needs receipts. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are good receipts too. Use it for fetch. Let's see. Like I said, they go all, and again, hopefully they have their passport because they're in New Zealand and then they're in Romania and then they're in Antarctica and then they're back in New Orleans and they're in North America and then they're in South America and then they're in New Asia, Africa, Australia. They're everywhere all at once. So again, that's why you just get exhausted. You're like, wait, this happened in they're driving in Rio de Janeiro now. Why do we care about what happens in Europe? I don't understand. It's just it happens everywhere.
yeah.
So I would love to know how long over the, like, usually a course of a day or 2 days, 3 days a movie happens. This had to have happened over like the course of 2 months. Like there's no way you have all these traveling plans and like I don't know. It was
They
it
just
was
yeah,
bonkers.
and they jump. It's like you said, they jump between everything just so fast. Like it's they'll be just in one place and the next in like 10-15 minutes of the movie. It's like, oh, what's going on now? Like I'm so confused. I thought they were in Rome, and then yeah, they just jump to like Rio, and it's like, what is going on, man?
Yeah. And then they need Jason Statham's character again, which he was, I don't even remember. I remember him there, and then I don't remember him being there again afterward. I don't know
He
what
wasn't.
he
Yeah,
needed to
actually,
do. He was just beating somebody up in a bag.
that
That needed to happen. Yeah. Again, I don't know
yeah,
where.
he never like reconnected with any like Dom or
Yeah.
anything. Or, like,
So
yeah, I don't know.
that old lady at the beginning, that old British lady, that's Jason Statham's mom. That's the character. That's how they're connected. But I don't
Is
know
okay.
why. I don't know why that uh what's the guy, Hans, is it Hans?
Yeah, so think it's
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, so he's like, they don't like each other. So I don't know why they don't like each other. I don't know. I think probably a Tokyo Drift thing. Uh so again, it's all crazy and you kind of need to maybe keep up with it more than we did, but I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
Some overarching things that I wrote down for sure. John Cena's character, if you're connected to it, if you actually know his name, he ends up dying. He kills himself because he runs out of gas slash trying to just save little B
Yeah,
and
so let me just paint the picture for everybody.
Please do.
Dom has just taken out about 500 cars by himself. and, and there's like four cars in front of him, and it's just like John Cena basically sacrifices himself to save Dom, but it just didn't he didn't need to do that.
Not at all.
I don't know why that it happened the way it did. It was just
And it's,
so
yeah, there's not like an out like in wrestling. It's like he landed on his neck and they blew up. Like there's nothing that can be like there's nothing that can be brought back with that. Like, oh, he must be a cyborg. That's the only thing that would have to be if they came out. If they cut to the next movie and he's just coming out of the burning wreckage and he's just like the Terminator. He's lost all his skin and stuff like that, and it's cut suddenly remore. That's the only way they can bring back this John Cena character.
you
But
know
I
they're
digress.
dead when he looks into the camera and he's like, I always loved you, man. It's
Yeah,
like,
it was definitely one of
we
those.
were all like, no. He like pushes a button that puts it into like kill yourself mode, and he fucking just
Just
blows
short
up.
of self-destruct mode. It was exactly that. He had he had gas. His gas was leaking. He was in a car that shot missiles off the side of it. So
Yeah, and apparently like they were jammed or something as to why he couldn't use them. I don't know.
yeah, so he had enough wherewithal so that he could. I don't even remember how exactly it happened. He just hit it. They were at the higher highway end, and he flipped over and landed, like I said, completely ass over a tea kettle and and just fucking blew up on
And I should
only
not
four
be
cars.
laughing at
Only
that.
four cars, like you said. Just I was two vans and like a couple convertibles.
Yeah, because
That was
just
the end
so
of John
funny.
Cena.
Dom was just driving, doing crazy shit, taking out anybody, and then it's just like the most minor inconvenience for him. And it's, I always love you,
And this
man.
was after being shot by Dom's car was shot by two helicopters, and then he whatever that nitro
Oh, the
the
nitrous,
nitrous,
yeah.
and then that was able to keep him on the ground and take out two
Yeah,
helicopters.
they slammed together. They had a.
Slammed together, and one became another wrecking ball that he took out other cars with. That
Oh,
he
that's right. Yeah.
because you would immediately know how
It
to
was
handle.
hooked to his car like a zip line was attached to his
Yeah,
door. So he
essentially a
was just.
giant mace was on his car, and he was just being able to, like, I know how this works automatically, and just starts and just hitting other cars. And I think it hit Jason Momoa's car that he had stole Little B in it. Bonkers, absolutely bonkers. And yeah, this is we're somehow at the end, even though and then other stuff happens. Let me see what other things I wrote down. The super cocky niece that was immediately humbled after almost dying. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
those little saucer bombs, those little saucer plates that we see that are placed underneath her car, and
He
then
has an infinite amount of
yeah, he
those,
just has a bunch of
apparently.
those. That's pretty cool. And then like he also is the inside for other people to be able to do it too. So he constantly has uh the wherewithal to do that and have like just a bunch of minions to do that for him. Jason Momoa's character we're alluding to. So yeah, that's also like at the end when there's giant fucking 18, 20, 30, 40, 50 dinner plate sized bombs of these. You're like, oh no, because one of those little things that are the size of my hand can blow up a car. That 40, 50 of those, 100, I'm assuming, because it's Fast and the Furious. 100 of those dinner plate sizes can definitely fuck up that dam that
Yeah,
it's
when I
connected to at
think
the end.
about it, how the fuck is Dom and Little B gonna get out of that? I mean, we'll just jump into that. The movie ends on a cliffhanger. It ends with a fucking cliffhanger. Dom, his whole family is dead, apparently. The
Yeah.
plane crashed where like everybody was in the plane. They're all
Everyone,
dead.
Ludacris, Roman, the girl from Game of Thrones, then I think
Oh,
that was
that's
it.
who that
Yeah,
is.
she's in Game of Thrones, dude. Like I said, I don't even keep up with their names. I just go by he's this. It's John Cena, The Rock.
Yeah, yeah, so their plane is crashed
The
because
only
he's been
character I know is
betrayed.
Dom Toretto and Little
Yeah,
B.
that's honestly, yeah,
That's
I'm
it.
trying to think. Yeah, I
That's
don't
it.
know. I don't know anyone else. Like I don't even know what The Rock's name is or any of or
I think
actually Hobbs.
he's
They're
either
Hobbs
Hobbs
and
or he's
Shaw,
Shaw.
right? There I don't
He's
know if
either
he's
Hobbs or
Hobbs or
Shaw.
Shaw, but he's one of the two.
I think that's the same thing with Cena. He's either Hobbs or Shaw, or that might be Jason Statham's character. I don't remember.
Oh. Oh well, I
That's how
that just
ridiculous
shows
this
how
shit
much
is.
we just love it for how fucking dumb it is. That just
Oh,
shows how. But yeah, it ends.
I woke up that day and said $15. Here you go. I just want to laugh for 2.5 hours, and I did. That's what happened. I'm sorry.
That
Keep
was the
going.
plan. No,
Yeah.
that's what we were planning on, and it definitely gave us
Yeah.
that.
So they're all on the plane, and it's been not only blown up, it was shot with a bazooka, with a projectile missile. And
Betrayed by the guy that was obviously a bad guy, but for
yeah,
some
and he was
reason was
and he
good.
used to play, and he was Thad from Blue Mountain State. So Thad from Blue Mountain State became the president of the government or whatever. I don't, or when he was the president. I don't even know what arm of the I don't national forces. I don't know. It's just so bonkers. Is it the FBI that's looking for them? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Uh, so
It
they
is.
so a betrayal blows up the airplane, and just so just so happens to go around the mountain that we don't see anything, but we see a fiery explosion. So there's
So
a
right
little
now
out.
they're all dead from but they won't be once the second movie comes out.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, Dom and Little B, two big ass like propane tank trucks are coming to smash into Dom, and they drive down this dam, and they
Yes.
out
Drive.
drive fire that is already in their car. They have a slow motion shot with Little B and Dom. The fire is in the car, like it is literally in the car, and then they turn on the nitrous and escape the fire. But the car is like useless now, and they're at the bottom of the dam. And this is like what Nick was alluding to. Jason Momoa has somehow put like 50 of these bombs on the dam before this. And it ends with a cliffhanger. Dom and Little B are at the bottom of the dam, and they show it about to blow up, and it ends like that. And they cut away from them, and they go to like Charlize Theron and whatever, like Dom's wife's character, and they're in Antarctica, and there's like some submarine from a previous movie, and that's how it ends after that. And we were just like, what?
Yeah. Definitely needed more. Definitely didn't want it to be a cliffhanger ever, but that just means we're gonna have another one for sure.
Yeah, I cannot believe the cliffhanger ending. That was a
Cliffhanger.
bold way to do it, but I'll be back for the next one. So
Like I said, I thought they were alluding to a pregnancy with Dom's wife's character too. Just seemed like very early on that the whole kissing on the belly thing. Like, you didn't know the one,
can't wait for
but
Little B to
yeah.
have a fucking
But then
daughter.
then she has an AEW style bunkhouse match brawl with like Charlize Theron, I guess, is the actress.
Because again, I don't know her name,
Yeah.
so
So, and after she magically figures out, this top secret base with a bunch of other stuff, she just magically flips everything just through one little iPad on the side of her torture rack or whatever's
yeah,
going
that's
on.
so true. Yeah. She hacks the thing that controls the table that she's laying on to pour like gas into the room where
And then
everyone's
yeah, and
working.
then reverse it. Like that was supposed to go to her room, but she reversed it to the outside somehow through her table. Like what?
I forgot about that. That
How
is
could I mean? I was about to yell at you, but how could you forget? I could imagine how you could forget. There's tons of other stuff to be like,
oh, there
what
is
the
so
fuck?
much. Yeah, if you want us to like deep dive, we could talk about this forever.
Yeah,
So
honestly, I think that's basically from my notes. That's all I can remember. But yes, the fact that it left off on the cliffhanger was a mixture of, oh my god, why? And I was like, also like, we get to do this again. So I was halfway excited, halfway mad. But I was like,
oh,
all right,
I think that he was confirming it was going to be like a three-part final or
three-part like
something.
final ending, and it'll all be
Yeah.
like Fast 11 still, Fast 10 Part 2. But this wasn't called Fast 10. This was just called Fast 10, Fast X. This wasn't Fast
Mm-hmm.
10 Part 1. Oh my god. Either way, I'm very excited for more. Like I'm trying to see if we
There's just
is
a post-credit scene also with
yeah,
The
the post
Rock,
credits, and we
and
kind of
really,
already
it's
already
yeah.
mentioned that.
Jason Momoa just says, "I'm coming to kill you," and The Rock says, like, what does he say? He says something. He said, I remember him saying, "Some
yeah,
bitch."
you
I was like,
some bitch. Like
but
like
yeah,
Steve Austin would
yeah,
say. I'm
that's what
like,
I
all
thought
right.
about. Yeah, like he's stone cold. That's what I thought. But yeah, so The Rock will be in the next one. He's back,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other
I think you
ridiculous
mentioned it
shit
in the
that we
beginning, all the
missed.
way in the beginning. I know we're going completely out of order, but honestly, you could watch this in all different parts, and it would still make just as much sense if you watched it in like from beginning to end its entirety. When they're just in
Probably
their
true.
backyard explaining like, hey, what we're gonna do, this top secret mission. just like openly talking about it in the backyard, like not worrying about like, hey, the neighbor could probably be like in his yard or in his house in his room, and like, man, those not noisy neighbors are going to Rome. They're gonna go save some fucking chips or some shit. Oh, darn! Just openly, no problem, willingly, openly talk about it. And that whole opening first 25 minutes of Dom talking to someone immediately felt like, oh, this is like goodbye type talk, because he immediately had a Corona to hand to
Yeah, I
Hans.
remember you guys saying that. They had two just open
Just
Coronas ready to
ready to
go.
roll.
Make sure to get that sponsorship money.
Yeah. And
Sponsored
then
by Corona.
and then immediately just went from person to person. And like I said, it's like I said, felt like a play to me, because we were following Vin Diesel, we were following Dom Toretto, and he was going around and around talking person to person, and then just like ended with him giving his mom a hug and saying like, "Oh, you would have been your father's. This is exactly what your father
It's
would
like
have
a
wanted."
video game. Like you talk to all the side characters before you go out on your mission or something. See if
Exactly.
you get any.
If he has a little exclamation point above the character's head, he made sure to go talk to them. That's kind of exactly how it was. Yeah. So yeah, there was that. I mean, the meeting in Miami or Rio de Janeiro. I don't even know. I think it was Florida. I think it was Miami that they're having that giant party. Like, this doesn't happen without you. And then they have the big race, and that's where that one guy dies, and that's where we meet the niece again. And again, just if we like us, he didn't see the other one, so I guess that's his. His sister dies. A cop sister dies too.
Hmm.
Yeah, again, Bonko. I'm still trying to like fly through it and try and remember, but sure enough, I'm gonna,
I feel like
the
we
Pete
got
Davidson
everything.
cameo, that
Oh,
was
that's yeah.
okay. The funny, the funny cupcakes or whatever he is, those muffins, that leads to nothing really, but it's fine. But that yeah. Uh I think, yeah, ultimately that's about it. If you want a good yuck, good laugh, we talked fucking almost 25 minutes probably about Fast 10, but
Yeah.
I'll talk another hour. Yeah, I can't wait to probably go see it again, probably when it comes out in streaming. I'll wait at this point. And yeah, if you really want a good yuck or continuation, if you're a hardo for these Fast and the Furious movies, that's fine too. I honestly don't care. But if you don't watch them next to me and expect me to respect them. I'm gonna
Yeah,
laugh at
because
them.
it was like we were the only ones in the theater laughing, and I just want to say, if you take these movies seriously, like don't. They're not anymore.
Yeah, no, it's completely jumped the shark of
Just have
trying to be
fun
relatable.
watching them.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and be like, "Oh, this is such a deep story right now with Dom and Little B." Like that's not what you're getting from these movies.
Yeah, this like, come on, my God, this is actually this, can't believe this whole thing was gonna be about a father raising his kid. Like, yeah, no,
I'm
don't.
just thinking that the whole time. Like I was like, did no one else find this funny? Like we were in a theater with a good amount of people. I'm
Yeah,
like, and no
honestly,
one else is laughing at this. Like
it
what?
wasn't packed to the brim. We had maybe that whole section to ourselves, but yeah, exactly that. Like, bunch of people in front of us, bunch of people behind us. This isn't funny to you.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think last final thoughts, like, oh, if you're like, oh, Nick, like, what are they gonna do? Like, should they stop making them? No, keep making them. I'll keep watching them, just like Ludacris said when he answered the same question. He's like, why do they keep making them? They're printing money. They're printing money from these movies, so they're not gonna stop. And a
Yeah, I
lot of those
saw.
movies are like, I would probably be like, oh, you're disrespecting just the idea of making movies, the art of it. You're just kind of taking it big steam and shit and wiping your ass with the film. But honestly, I'm getting the entertainment value of it, so I don't give a fuck. Keep making these movies. These are phenomenal.
Yeah, I saw this one already made like 600 million globally. So it's like,
Cha-ching. That's another 4 or 5 more. Yeah, no wonder there's gonna be a trilogy of
no, they're
finale.
just they're just gonna really milk out this finale.
Oh
It's
yeah.
3 parts.
Yeah, I always think about the one meme when it was GTA 5 brought it upon me. It was like the cow that's bone dry. And she's like, we're just gonna keep milking this one. That's
Yeah.
exactly what they're gonna keep doing. It's the Fast and the Furious. They're just gonna keep whatever else. I'm sure they're just like trying to think of like, what else? What other national monuments can we blow up? Mount Rushmore? Yeah, why not? We'll probably get that. We'll get like Abraham Lincoln and George. I was George Lucas, George
I really
Washington.
wonder what ridiculous shit how they're gonna get out of that damn thing. Like
Yeah,
how the fuck are they gonna do that? Like they're gonna have a force shield or some shit. They're just gonna turn out Dom's force sensitive or something. Jeez. Like what are they
he's
gonna
gonna
do?
do. He's gonna turn into Groot, and he's gonna wrap himself around Little B, and then he's gonna explode, and then he's just gonna be a
We
little
are
stick.
Groot.
We are Groot, and he's like, Dad, what? You're a plant? He's like,
Feel
yeah.
the car, little B.
And then he's gonna go play. He's gonna grab a stick and go plant his dad. And then so by part 3 of the finale, we can have Dom. We can have little Dom Groot Toretto growing, and he's gonna be dun, dun, dun. Sun is shining in the sky. I'm driving a car, and I'm little Dom. That's exactly my thoughts. So we're I wouldn't put that's all I want to
Oh.
see. I just want to see ridiculousness. I want to see craziness.
Oh my god.
That's all I've been thinking about. I want
Oh.
Dom to turn into Groot and save Little B and explode.
So
It would just no, I would yeah.
oh
I
my
don't even know
god.
what would happen if I actually saw that in the next one. So please continue to give your money to go see these Fast and Furious movies so we can continue to see hands down the most ridiculous cinema in I think history. I think ever. There's nothing else like this. There's absolutely
Yeah,
nothing else
that's
like this.
probably true. Yeah. I'd like
So there
honestly
you go.
everybody go see it. If you've never seen Fast and Furious, you can start now.
Yes, he can. You can start wherever and you'll be fine. It
Just
does
have
not
as much
matter.
fun as us.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. So there you go. That was an appetizers. Those were the big appetizers. Again, we'll think of a million other things, I'm sure, throughout the day, but we got to get to some sports. We got to get to some NBA. The finals are ready to roll, and so are we. Uh, I think we can talk a little Game 7 recap. Why don't we? I mean, kind of almost backtrack and basically not don't need to go from the beginning and recap everything, but almost like a build up to from both teams where they started in this playoff and where they are now type deal. So I think we can just start off with, I guess, might as well start off with Miami just so we can get into talking about the game 6 and game 7. You know, they start off playing the play-in and they have to battle through. Not they lose to Atlanta, beat Chicago unfortunately, and then they have to play Milwaukee. They beat Milwaukee, who was all banged up and brutalized, didn't have Giannis basically the entire time. Went ahead and played a team in the Knicks that actually up until yesterday gave them a lot of probably the most competitive fight out of all of them. I just didn't have enough really star-studded power on the offensive end to get it done. So they take the Knicks in 6 games. And then at the time, they were up 3-0 on the Boston Celtics. Uh, and slowly just choked it away. The game 6 was that was a lot of fun. Honestly, sitting going back and forth in there. Now Derek White, that putback will if it's probably gonna be a basketball hardo only to be like, hey, remember that? Otherwise, it's gonna be pushback in everyone's thought and like memory because they lost game 7. They just weren't able to get it done. So that put back with zero point 0.1 seconds left. Absolutely, just phenomenal basketball to watch. Just fun on our end considering we had no dog in this fight. But
Yeah, that was crazy.
yeah, and then just to show up, you're like, oh man, that's it. Everyone was saying game 6 is their game 7. They might as well wrap it up. No need to do nothing. No need to even play. Well, still got to play game 7. And sure enough, a tweak of an ankle for Jason Tatum within 30 seconds. You can maybe harp on that and say that was a big thing, but he went ahead and played the rest of the time. And just honestly, the Celtics just did not show up in game 7. They shot 9 for 42 from 3-point. they, I think they maybe had 5 or 6. Actually, they actually had more free throw attempts, but 15 points in the first quarter. Like I said, they maybe could have
Oh,
had the out if Jason Tatum had went down and out and didn't play the rest of the time. But he did play the rest of the time. I think he led the team in rebounding. He led the team in minutes. Just no one shot well at all. Jaylen Brown didn't help. I think he led the team in scoring, but shot 8 for 23. So he was a black hole. Derek White was the only one that was really consistent. He was 5 for 12. He had like 18, but two for 9 shooting 3-pointers. It's not that good. You're at home. You need something. You fought all the way back. You thought you had some juice, and honestly, I mean, Miami didn't do anything special. They just didn't fuck up. Honestly, I mean, they capitalized on everything. They just didn't shoot 9 for 42 from 3-point or whatever percentage that is. Probably like 18%, twenty
yeah, I
percent.
said it was like 21. Yeah.
Yeah, just awful, awful. Did no one showed up, not even no chance at all. And I mean, I'm not. There's tons of people. I'm harping on the Celtics at this point of like what were they going to do? What could they have done? I don't know. I mean, they need besides just Tatum and Jaylen Brown just kind of shrivel them up into a ball. Al Horford just is non-existent. I don't know why they just kept giving him opportunities to shoot 3-pointers and just having him on the floor at all. He's just awful. I think he's awful.
Hmm.
So I mean, they're gonna need a. I've had a ton of people are like, oh, they're gonna tear this core apart because Jaylen Brown's contract is coming up. Do they give Brown a contract? You know what? I think you do have to keep this core together, and you just need to keep building upon it. There's no reason to rip these guys apart. There's nothing. I don't know. It's a tough ask. It's a tough ask. I'll spin zone in the way that they just played arguably one of the better teams. Obviously, they're red hot. They got Jimmy Butler, who's just killing it in every sort of sense, and maybe the best head coach right now in Eric Spoelstra. You could say maybe Greg Popovich, but he's kind of only really did his winning with Tim Duncan, Tony Robinson, and Manu Ginobili. He hasn't really been in any sort of Kawhi Leonard. Okay, Kawhi Leonard now too, but uh, other than that, like no, hasn't really been able to get back into the winning wheel like Eric Spoelstra had with multiple different groups of guys. So I guess that's my reasoning behind why he would probably be considered like the best coach as of right now. So like I said, I'm all over the place and everything. Game 7 was just absolutely pitiful by Boston. It's a shame for them and any of their fans that between the Celtics and then the Boston Bruins, both losing to 8 seeds, being high a 1 and a 2 seed from both of them, and both of them losing to Florida teams. So there you go.
Yeah,
So I
I
guess that was the
saw
fun.
that. That's
Yeah, that was the
that's
fun stat. What was your overall thoughts, takeaways from Game 7, Game 6, and then I guess maybe even Miami's journey up until now, if you want to comment on that as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of pages keep posting like the score with the Bulls up against the Heat by 3 with like 2 minutes left or whatever it was, and it's like they're literally about to get cooked up by us. I remember watching that game, and I think I've already said this before, but I mean, yeah, it's crazy how far they've come,
DeMar
and people.
DeRozan's daughter should have been at the game.
Yeah, I saw someone post that. They were like the butterfly effect, and they had that picture of her not being there, then the Heat winning the conference finals, and there were people in the comments like, "Damn, that really is crazy." I was like, "No, like she wouldn't have affected that game at all. Like, don't try to push that narrative."
I
But
know.
no, it's just no, it's funny. It is
Absolutely.
funny. I was just like, "What?" Like, no. It's the Heat have played so well and people are still doubting them. It's still like, oh, I mean, I do think I'll just say right now, I think Nuggets I'm going to be team Nuggets in the finals, but I mean, people have been doubting the Heat they said that they weren't going to beat the Bucks, they weren't going to beat the Celtics, and people are saying they're not going to beat the Nuggets, but I mean, they've proved us wrong twice now already. This solo playoff run alone, they are they are a very good team with like good chemistry, just like the Nuggets. It's going to be very interesting to see Bam and Jokic go up against each other. But I'm going on a tangent about the finals. This is about the game 7. Jimmy Butler and Khalid Martin, I think is his name.
Yeah, Caleb Martin.
Absolutely cook. He had like 26 points. I think he was actually one vote away from winning the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals. It was Jimmy Butler 5 votes and him 4 votes. He was absolutely cooking. He's undrafted free agent, I believe. And
I feel like more than half that team is undrafted free agents. I heard some stat like they average almost 58 points of 58 points from people that are undrafted on that team.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, and Martin are all undrafted.
And Marcus Strauss.
Yeah. So they're all good as fuck. Like it's great. It's great. I mean, honestly, that's one of the most dangerous things about the Heat is their threes. And that's last night they were hitting them and like they usually do, and the Celtics weren't. And it seems like that's been their game plan most of the series. We're just going to try to jack up threes, and
they led the league in
can...
threes. So it was good. It was a good game plan, somewhat, but not able to execute at all.
And they had a shitty night last night, and they had a shitty night game 6, and they still were able to win, but just by the skin of their teeth. And I just remembered Charles Barkley talking about the stats. It was like they were like, on game 6, they were like 5 for 30 or something from 3, and then they like still end up winning. And then this game, they're fucking 9 for 40, whatever the fuck they were.
9 for 42.
Yeah, and they end up. I mean, it's just like, why do you not look at game 6? I was thinking when Charles Barkley was saying that shit, I'm like, how do you not look at that and be like, we just had a horrible ass 3-point outing?
I'm glad you brought up Charles. I would argue maybe he got in Jaylen Brown's head, because he straight up asked him, he's like, hey, like, why don't you guys like play a complete game? Like, why don't you play 48 full minutes basically? And that, I mean, if that wasn't the question, that's basically the paraphrased answer.
That's right. I remember I said
what Jaylen Brown said. He's like, yeah, maybe sometimes we don't play a full 48. Sometimes a lot of guys are hesitant, myself including. They just don't want to be the guy that ends up screwing up. And guess what? Everyone screwed up all at once, only scoring 84 total points in game 7. My God. I mean, it's pitiful. It's awful. No one tried. Like I said, maybe Derek White, for considering he only shot 5 of 12, but that's not good. It's not good at all.
Derek White, the god of Boston. If they would have won the series, they probably would have made a statue of him.
Yeah. Honestly, it would have been him, McKay. It would have been Bird, McHale, and then him or something like that. Or
making the layup.
Bill Russell, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and then just Devin White. I'm just overall just trying to see.
I really thought the Celtics might do it. They seemed like they were going to be the first team to come back from this deficit. That game after the game 6, I was like, well, the Heat are fucking cooked, and they had proved me wrong for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, the future of the Celtics, I guess we can ponder on that some other time for sure. Not really much right there. Like I said, I mean, all for the Heat on that one. I suppose they should have taken that series a little earlier, completely fumble it, but pick it right back up like nothing ever happened. So it takes a lot still to do that. So that's still some props right there. That's why I still want to not spaz out or freak out on Eric Spoelstra like, oh my God, he almost blew it, but they tidied it up just like they should. So that was pretty good. Getting to the Nuggets side, let me take a ponder. Let me take a gander if I can remember off the top of my head. They take Minnesota in 5 games, if I'm not mistaken. Then they went on to take Phoenix in 6 after they would take 2, then drop 2, and then take the other 2. So there you go. There was that. And then they sweep the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals and they've been on a break for 9 days. So, I mean, always a toss up of whether or not that is beneficial, slash, is that too much time to get in your own head, or is that just enough time to still be focused and, focused, but still relaxed enough to get your body right, get your mind right. And I've kind of been watching The Last Dance as of late, so kind of in that mindset of like, they don't need you don't need to be basketball 24/7. Like, Jordan was out there flying, golfing, gambling, and coming back in time to practice, and he was actually much better off for it. So just stuff like that
Yeah.
makes me think like, break time and being away from the game is it could be helpful and hurtful at the same time. So that's fine. It's they got to be in the high Denver altitude for the first 2 games. So I think that's a huge plus. The Denver fans, the fan base is legit. It's not like it's going to be a bunch of Miami Heat fans infiltrating the Denver Nuggets. It used to be the Pepsi Center, whatever it's called now, but it's not like it's going to be a full on invasion or something like that. They're going to have full on it. They're going to have a hometown advantage right there. But yeah, I mean, just picking apart at that. I mean, played Minnesota, who they were only won 2 less games than Miami in the regular season. Go on to play Phoenix in the round after that, who were literally until they got eliminated, were still odds-on favorite to win the NBA championship. Then they go on to sweep LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the Lakers, who I would argue the Lakers are better than Miami. So it's kind of for me, I see it as a wrapped up bow, a 4-game sweep, maybe 5 at most for this finals. To be honest, I don't see it's going to take full on perfection from Miami to take down Nikola Jokic, who is arguably the best basketball player playing right now. I mean, yeah, it's just, without a doubt, he can pass, he's scoring, he's everything and more. He definitely should have been the MVP, like we keep saying. What was it? 9.9. It was a 0.1 assists away from averaging a triple double, which I was telling you, I was like, they completely blew it out of proportion when Russell Westbrook was like, oh, is he gonna not only break the triple double record or whatever when he broke Oscar Robinson's triple double record in a single season? He's like, oh my god, is he gonna average a triple double when Oklahoma was only winning 35 games maybe at that time, and now Jokic is without a doubt. I mean, just it wasn't like, oh, the Nuggets were battling up against the Golden State for #1 seed, or like, oh, they had the Sacramento Kings right up against their no, it was
I've been
wired.
cooking.
It was wire to wire. They were the #1 seed from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. So there was nothing like that. So it's just, to me, it seems like the Nuggets are like head and shoulders above Miami. I'm not gonna say, like I said, I'll say a sweep. It's like probably plus 400 or plus 475 for odds wise to get a sweep on the series. But I don't want to sit here and disrespect Miami, but there's nothing in my mind that says they can shut down what Denver has. There's a lot that Denver has, and I was probably talking shit a couple episodes ago, very early on, but sometimes I just don't know what I'm talking about. But I mean, like I said, anything on Denver before I get to how I think what Miami would need to do to win the series. How do you think? What do you think on Denver's journey to get here so far? Impressed or not impressed?
How could you not be impressed? I love Denver. I've loved Denver since the bubble when they were fighting the Lakers in the conference finals, I think then. And I remember Anthony Davis making that fadeaway 3 over the Nuggets in the bubble. I still it's like vividly in my mind watching it in our buddy's garage, just being like, "Are you kidding?" Like I wanted the Nuggets to win that so bad, but I've loved their team. I think everyone on their team is like they seem like they're all like good guys and have great chemistry, and like they've had the same group for a good minute. And I've always liked Jamal Murray, and he tore his ACL and he was able to come back, and he's still been cooking it up since. And I mean, he's been doing very well this year. And Aaron Gordon is like revitalized himself somehow and is like playing very well also. And Michael Porter Jr., I've liked him, and he was hurt for a good while in his career also with his back issues and stuff. And he's been cooking lately too. So it's like it's just feel good coming back. I saw a post where it's like it's the Nuggets are the real trust the process, like Joel Embiid says that, but the Nuggets are actually that.
Damn.
They've kept their guys, they stayed with them while they were injured, and they've been back and they've been doing just as good, if not better. So I love their team. I love Jokic. We say it, we've said it on here a bunch of times. He's the best player, and that's going to be the problem that the Heat have. Is the Celtics don't have a center like Jokic, and he's the difference maker. And when you still got players surrounding him like Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr., and you still got these people, they have like Katavious Caldwell Pope, I think, on their team and stuff
Yes,
like
they
that.
do.
Yeah.
He's actually a pretty good sharpshooter. Do not leave him
Mhm.
open, and that's probably going to be the issue. Like they're gonna want to double team Jokic right away, and Jokic knows how to pass, and that's how they've been winning games. It's simply
Mhm.
like he's
He
not
can
just
do
getting
it
triple
all.
double. Yeah,
He
he's
can
not just
do it
getting
all.
triple doubles because he wants to fill up stats. He's able to get assists so easily because they double, and he can pass it so beautifully and find the wide open man, and then they make it because they're talented. Did enough to
Mhm.
do so. So I mean,
So yeah.
Miami has their hands full without a
Oh
doubt.
yeah.
And like I said, how many games? Who's winning? We're both on Denver. I say a sweep at 5 games at most. Are you in that same boat, or do you think they're going 6?
Yeah, I don't. I think I was in the kind of the five. I think they'll win at least one, but yeah,
Yeah, because I don't want to completely disrespect them, but I like at this point it's just I don't see
like you said, they
what they could
have
do.
to be perfect. The Miami has the shooters, the 3-point shooters, but they have to make their threes every night. They have to stay consistent, and like that's the only way they're going to be able to keep it close. Because
Yeah.
if they don't give it their all and perform every night, then they're not going to be able to keep
Yeah.
up. So
If I may, this is my Heat thought process. If they have the slightest chance of winning, and
go ahead.
I'll give you my first. I want to actually give you my your thoughts on my first suggestion. Do you think Jimmy Butler should cover Nikola Jokic?
Wow. No.
No, I mean it's a tough ask. I get it. I would argue he's probably one of the best defenders. If you truly trust Bam Adebayo to just solely guard Nikola Jokic, I don't know. Like I don't know if you can.
I think you have to for game one at least. I
Yeah,
don't know.
in my mind, like I said, I'm gonna go down my list of things of what I think they should do and do's and don'ts possibly. But like I said, if whoever's gonna be guarding Jokic, if it's gonna be Butler, like I suggest, or if it's gonna be Bam Adebayo, Butler would be limited on the scoring side, on his scoring output, if he's just his sole idea is just to shut down Nikola Jokic in the slightest. So whoever's gonna be guarding Jokic, their scoring output is going to be non-existent. So Butler will probably end up having 14 or 15 if they take my suggestion. Bam Adebayo, probably nothing. Honestly, he'll probably be a non-factor at all. They would
Yeah,
have to
they could play some sort of zone
yeah.
defense where Bam is kind of just lurking
Yeah,
around and
because
Jimmy's
they're gonna have
on.
to completely limit double teaming for what I was just saying earlier. Because Jokic can pass, he's gonna find the wide open man, and that person's gonna put the ball in the basket. Whether it's Caldwell Pope probably wide open in the corner for a three, or Michael Porter Jr. being able to drive in and finish. Same with the thing with Jamal Murray, he can create his own shot from mid range as well. Uh, and in the same breath, whoever's guarding Jokic and I guess Aaron Gordon, you need to put a body on him and box out every single time, especially Aaron Gordon. I think that's going to be his only real
Yeah.
contributing factor. He's not really an offensive guy in any sort of. I think he's had like 24, almost 30 points, maybe even a 40-point game not too long ago, but it was all because wide open layups and getting offensive rebounds and stuff like that. So if you take care of that, that's how you take care of Aaron Gordon and somewhat of limiting Jokic, I guess. And then on the flip side, you're going to need to lock down Murray, Caldwell, Pope, and Porter, or Porter, whoever really might be hot at that particular time. But that is far more way easier said than done. Obviously, like I just said, all these guys can create a bunch of shots for themselves,
Oh
and
yeah.
if only if that can be done is if yeah, only when that is done, only if that can be done, can the Heat win maybe one or two games. Honestly, because that doesn't seem sustainable that they would be able to lock down Jokic for 4 games in my mind. And
Yeah.
he's going to go off at least 2, 3, 4 games out of this series. Murray's going to complement them, and then that's how they for sure end up winning 2, 3 games for sure. And then he's going to need some help along the way. They're going to have to figure it out. So that's kind of where I'm at in my brain. If the Nuggets, if the Heat have any sort of snowball's chance in hell, I'm giving the Nuggets all the benefit. I'm giving them everything. They should have the MVP. They should have the MVP and Jokic right there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't want to sit there and disrespect Jimmy Butler, but I'm also in that same bed of like, okay, let me backtrack a little bit too. Everyone online has been, hey, we're from Chicago. Butler used to be from Chicago, so we have to root for Butler. And do we really? Like, that's where my next question was going to be. And I'll, maybe I'll throw it in later, but I didn't really feel like Butler has had a cup of coffee, I feel like, with the Bulls. He was on there for a little bit. He gave his all. He tried a little bit of this and that, but just because he was on the Bulls, I don't think he really even cares about. Does he care about the city of Chicago? I saw some little quote like, "Chicago, you please don't boo me, but everybody else can." What was am I misinterpreting that, or I don't even know how to interpret that. Uh, so in my mind, like I
Yeah.
said, to me, Butler has no loyalty. He's almost a journey. He's just one of the most successful journeymen, honestly, in this modern NBA, because he's been with the Bulls and Minnesota and 76ers and now Miami. So there's probably another team in between that if I don't remember. Uh, but like I said, I don't know
But
where his loyalty
it's
lies.
cause
Oh, go
it's
ahead.
cause the Bulls drafted Butler, so it's
Okay.
kind of like, and I had to look it up because I wanted to just confirm because he was on the Bulls for the longest time.
Yes.
So and he was there from 2011 to 2017. So
Yes.
that's pretty long, pretty decent amount of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was on then Minnesota for 2 years, and what is that?
76. Oh,
Oh.
what?
I guess, oh, was he traded during the season or something? It looks
Probably,
like.
yeah.
Yeah, because
If
it's
it's a
okay.
slash in between, then yeah.
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 Okay, yeah. So he was on Minnesota, and then the second year he got traded to Philly. Didn't stay there because they signed Tobias Harris, and now he's been on Miami since.
Well,
So he's been on
yeah.
Miami for, yeah,
So,
about four
so
years
I
now.
don't want to sit here and hate on him and for that, but I also don't want to be like
But like you said, does
you're
he
only
care?
yeah, exactly. Your justification of like, oh, you should be rooting for Jimmy. I'm like, why? Oh, because he was on the Bulls one time. Again, like he was on there for a bit, like you just mentioned, but it's just like I don't think, like, when I think of Jimmy, I don't think of like Chicago. I just think of him going everywhere. Honestly, that's just, I think of him being a little bit of a troublemaker. Honestly, just him just being so, not a troublemaker, but just being so outright and just talkative and stuff like that. I don't think of him as a bull. I don't know. That's just me. And like I said, so you can
It's
root for, you
always
have every right to
just,
root for him, every right to have that justification, that root for him. But like, it just, again, I don't see it like I need to root for him because he's a former Bull. Like, I don't root for Jose
yeah.
Abreu right now because he used to be a White Sox. I don't care. Like, I don't want him to do well. He's not on the White Sox anymore. I'll tip my
Hmm.
cap if I see him live, but is whatever. It's kind of a sour ending. It's just shit like that. Whatever. I'm going on a tangent. It's just shit like that. So I guess that was just me. I don't know if you had a comment on that or just the final thoughts on the Heat versus on the Nuggets. What do you think the outcome might be? I'm gonna try and find maybe some props, maybe something on the series really
Hmm.
quick.
Well, yeah, again, I can understand why people here want to root for Jimmy. I feel like it's just, I don't know, I guess we traded him, so it's like maybe you never know. Maybe he would have stayed on the Bulls, or I don't know. I guess we never know because we'll never know. He got traded, so that's that. But
Yeah.
we traded him for Zach LaVine, and maybe he would have stayed if we never traded him. So I guess I really don't know how much Jimmy Butler loves Chicago, but yeah, I mean, at first I was rooting for him because just because of that, I was like, oh yeah, former Bull, but. Now, again, I do like the Nuggets more, and I always said that if it was between them two, I would choose the Nuggets. So it came down to this, and I mean, it seemed like for a second it wasn't even going to be Nuggets Heat, it was going to be Nuggets Celtics. So I didn't know what to think, but I'm Team Jokic, so let's just see what happens. And I had this picture. I know he's not on the team anymore, but it's just the rivalry renewed. Fucking Jokic just slamming into Markieff Morris that one year. The brothers tried to fight. They were like gonna fight him and stuff. I
Oh
remember
my
that whole
God. Yeah, that was something
fiasco, but
stupid.
it should
Yeah.
be a very good series. And come on, Jokic, man. We're
Yeah.
gonna
Come
make
on, Joker.
history no matter what. The eighth seed is gonna win the finals, and Jimmy Butler's gonna get his first ring, or the Nuggets are gonna get their first franchise championship ever. So
Yeah, absolutely. I had tons of storylines to be made. Let's see. I'm pulling up a couple of odds, couple of betting things we can get to. For the Nuggets to win 4-1, that is plus 265. For the Nuggets to sweep, that is plus 380.
hmm.
For a 6-game series with the Nuggets win 4-2, it's plus 400. And then I can go over all them. I mean, just to finish off the Nuggets outcomes, if to go 7 games, win 4-3 for the Nuggets, plus 310. For the Heat, to go 6 games and win 4-2, plus 750. To win in 7, plus 950. For the Heat to win 4-1 in 5 games, plus 2,000, and for the Heat to sweep 4-0, plus 3,500. So there are your odds on that. I think, like I said, my best bet, my best odds, I would go with either Nuggets to win 4-1 plus 265 or Nuggets to win 4-0 plus 380.
Yeah, I might play around with that sweep.
Yeah. We also got some finals odds, minus 360 for Jokic, so you're not really getting any value there.
Wow.
But if you're on the other end, you're like, screw it, I'm sick of the Heat being disrespected. They did, however, go from only probably winning the Eastern Conference Finals from 3% to now possibly being able to win the finals at 7%. So a little bit of more respect on the Heat name. So if you think that extra, what I just say, 4% is going to be in their favor, then go with maybe Jimmy Butler at plus 330 to win the Finals MVP. And maybe just to throw out another one. Oh, you know what? Also, I don't also want to. One just the name just popped up, and something maybe just to consider. We got Butler. They got Butler, and he's going to be the focal point. We had, you said Caleb Martin was also helping out. Gabe Vincent was actually averaging, I believe, like 18 points in the Eastern Conference Finals, besides the game or two that he didn't play in.
Yeah.
But besides, where was I even going in that? They got a ton of players that can help out Butler on that side. If he goes off for 30 or 40 or something like that, that's obviously going to be good at complement, a couple of people that'll be wide open. But Tyler Hero might be on his way back from that broken hand. So just another offensive weapon for them to be able to get on the 3-point side. Does he help everything? Does it solve everything? He's basically just exactly that, just a spot up 3-point shooter guy, maybe going to get you 20 at best, 25, but still better than nothing. And so there you go. I
Yeah.
think, maybe, like I said, instead of relying solely on Caleb Martin, who just started, I think, as of game 6 of the last series, and then like I said, Gabe Vincent, who has been all these guys undrafted free agents. So there you go. I'm trying to see if there's any other props or anything to really get to highest scoring performance. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I would probably go with probably Jokic or Butler as well, but they're the two highest, two most favorited. Maybe even just roll the dice and say plus 200 Jamal Murray for the highest scoring performance throughout the
Hmm.
series.
That's a
But
good one. Yeah.
yeah, why not? Yeah, either way, obviously tons and tons of props to get to on that. Like I said, I'll take the one where the
What
Nuggets
are
win
the
for.
Heat? What's the line for the first game?
I believe 6.5 is the I just exit out right now, but I can hop back in right this second. Yeah, Heat are giving 6.5 right now. Over unders at 219, money line plus 295, minus 360
Hmm.
for the Nuggets. Oh, eight, excuse me, 8.5. I need my glasses. I need
That's a lot of points for a finals game.
It is, and I've been not only did they got 7.5 on Monday. They'll be opening with 8.5 now. I took 8.5 live, and they ended up winning outright. The Miami Heat did. It's setting up every single time where we say the Heat are done. They get the same they get the same spread, and then they come out and outright beat the team that's in front of them that are
Yeah.
expected to be far head and shoulders better than them. So I'll take the fool's gold once more. I'm gonna take Jokic. If it blows up in my face, it blows up in my face, and I'll just look like Donald. I'll just look like Daffy Duck when he has to turn his bill around or something like that. Uh, but I mean, it's exactly that. I'm just gonna I'll be a square. I'm gonna have to take the Nuggets. I'm gonna have to. I'm wearing the jersey, so I'm contractually obligated to.
Come on, Nuggets.
I'll buy you Wendy's 10-piece nugget, no sauce is fine if you're able to tell me who this is. Denver Nuggets
Uh,
jersey,
uh,
number 5, a little older. They're not currently playing on the team. I'll give you 2 more hints. This is let me see, 2 more. This person was a little bit of a journeyman, also on multiple teams, so got to think about that. And you might see this person often on television, so they're an analyst on TV. So, any thoughts and ideas as to who this Denver Nugget number 5 might be? Leave your comments. Leave it in the comment section if you got it. Obviously, maybe you can just say, "Hey, I knew who it was." I'm gonna reveal it in 15 seconds.
no. God damn it. I don't know.
10 seconds.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say
Ooh.
a name, but I don't know. Is it Kenny the Jet?
It is not Kenny the Jet Smith. I'll give you
Char
one more guess.
Charles Barkley.
It is not Charles Barkley. It is Jalen Rose from that.
Oh.
Is it Get Up with Jalen? I mean, I think he's on there.
Yeah, I don't know. That just shows how much I know.
He's on the one show. I mean, do they still do Jalen and Jacoby? I feel like that reruns at like 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes on ESPN, when they would just do their basically kind of what we do here. We just run through some stuff, run through some fun stuff. So there you go, rocking the Jalen Rose jersey for the Denver Nuggets. Uh, More or less, he was basically just famous for getting 81 points scored on by Kobe Bryant. That was
Yeah.
basically the highlight of his career. So there you go. My last little thing in the NBA, or not actually, not my last little thing in the NBA. Just one quick question on Jimmy Butler and like kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Of I don't see where his loyalty lies. I'm not really sure what city would claim him. So, where, if at all, where would you think Jimmy Butler's number would be retired, if at all?
I mean, Miami, if they win a championship.
That's fair. There still is some time right now for the. I know that's not a fair question as of right now, I suppose. But yeah, if he wins the championship and continues on there for some time, but I don't know. Maybe to me, I feel like the loyalty doesn't stick where he's gonna win a championship there, and then he's probably gonna go on like Kawhi Leonard. It's kind of, to me, I'm almost the same thing. Probably the Spurs, but or maybe even Toronto, but I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me that one place, I guess, claims him. I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
I don't know. And then that's kind of where I was alluding to earlier, just like why everyone from Chicago is like, oh, he's our, like, is he really our guy? Like, does Butler really give a shit about Chicago in any sort of sense? Like, he was there, that he could, but I think he just wants to win where he's at that particular spot at that particular time. It's not really I'm I'm loyal to the Midwest, or I'm loyal to South Beach or whatever. It's just I'm here and I'm winning here. That's just where I am
Yeah.
at right now. I don't know. That's where I feel like Jimmy Butler's at. So if you really had it, like, again, you're throwing that question up to me. I don't know. I wouldn't feel right really retiring him anywhere. I wouldn't want the Bulls to retire his number 20 when he was 22. And then I guess, like I said, it maybe it'd probably be even a stretch. Maybe if Butler wins them a championship, but to get it to be retired in Miami, that even seems like a little bit of a stretch there. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was about
I
it.
could see that, yeah.
That was about it with that one. I don't know if you had anything final on that. And then uh, one little thing, and it's kind of just disappointing news. I think we've touched upon this in a couple episodes ago. It was just holding our breath. Didn't want it to happen, but I think the Bulls kind of pulled the trigger and basically said that Lonzo Ball is done. Lonzo Ball is basically all but done in the league. Very disappointing news to hear, as as the Bulls need just about anything, any help that we can get. We've been hankering and holding on to, oh, he'll get better. We'll see him soon. He'll help the Bulls out. I can't sit here and say he's gonna solve everything, but we signed this guy. We want him to do well. And it's just a shame that yeah, he's probably just not gonna be able to play again. So Lonzo Ball probably all but done. All but basically late, finally hanging up the shoes. So any concerns about Lonzo Ball not returning the Bulls?
It's a damn shame if that's all true. I loved him when he was playing, so he's one of my buddy Dom's, one of his favorite players. It's just a damn shame, man. I mean, he had so much more ahead of him. That's just, they said it's like some injury that doctors have never seen before or something. It's
Jesus.
just something ridiculous.
Yeah. I went off whatever episode it was when I had my Bulls rant, and I called him COVID ball Lonzo 19 or whatever, but I guess that's my bad for, like, I wasn't harping on him like having the injury. It's not his fault that he has this injury. Like, that's just like the thing. It's overall just very disappointing that a guy like that it's so young, basically essentially wrapping up his career, calling it over with. And I know he's gonna have some opportunities still to be still involved in the game of basketball for sure, but just on the playing side, obviously, most likely done. And of course, it's just it sucks for him, but it's also just like, I feel a little selfish. Like, come on, like another thing for the Bulls to, like, come on, like, can we catch a break at all? Like, I know we kind of
Yeah.
almost made it into the playoffs, but we just really need a true point guard that is not Pat Beverly. I'm sorry, Pat Beverly is nice, and he's a good spitfire, little, like, spark, whatever I was trying to allude to. Just
He's a
say
good bench player.
exactly. He's really good coming off the bench. I would want him on my team as opposed to not having him on my team, just because he's in there. He's like a pit bull. He gets in your ear, and he yells at you, and he makes guys accountable on the team, and that's kind of how they kind of whipped everybody into shape a little bit. But yeah, you need a true point guard who was able to not only score, but Lonzo was a pretty solid defender, actually, and helped out there. So overall, like I said, very disappointing, and just another blow for the Bulls to have to deal with. And again, it's not like we can replace him anytime soon, because don't have a first round pick or a second round pick this year, actually. So it's a complete wash this year. Bulls are in
Nothing.
purgatory. So we'll be continuing to complain about the Bulls and how we'll be staying stagnant for the next, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, unless we get something crazy. We
Yeah, I
need
don't
Damian
know.
Lillard. Give us
That would
Damian
be
Lillard.
awesome.
Yeah, do something. I mean, just not Kyrie. I'll do anything besides that. Uh, any last final thoughts, concerns? I know I'll be getting to what the game one's on Thursday, so I'll be able to talk recap on that on the live show on Sports Town on twitch.tv/sportstown shy. If you want to check out when I go live, I'll be able to recap game one. So yeah, like I said, any final thoughts, concerns, finals review / Bulls?
Uh, no, yeah, I think we about much covered it all there.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. We can move on to a little bit of NHL. I mean, a little bit of NHL because I wish I prepped more. I wish I was more. Wish we were more knowledgeable. I wish I was more knowledgeable. I
Yeah.
don't want to throw you under the bus too, but uh, we got Stanley Cup Finals matchup is set just like the finals in the NBA. Panthers versus Golden Knights. I got some people. I won't say who they are, where they're from, but just where I was hanging out today, they got some people that were like, this matchup is gonna suck. I was only in my mind, I was like, obviously the true NHL fans are always gonna watch, but just the idea for the analysts, the people that are gonna be traveling and having to break down this game, you're gonna go from Las Vegas to Miami, and then possibly go back to Las Vegas, and then possibly back to Miami. That's wicked awesome. That's two of the biggest party cities. Yeah, you're gonna have an awesome
That's
time
true,
hanging out.
yeah.
So, like I say, maybe not the best franchises when it comes to representing the NHL, but you know, Golden Knights just having their inaugural year, what, 2019,
Yeah, they've only
2018?
been around for so long. Yeah.
Being in 4 out of the last 5 Western Conference Finals, if that wasn't it, uh, pretty cool, pretty good. Like honestly, Las Vegas. It's not just like I was kind of alluding to earlier when I was talking about the a lack of a fan base in Denver. Like it's not gonna be an invasion of people. Like it is Golden Knights fans in Vegas. You might have a couple of people probably from Florida, but it is going to be loud. It's going to be packed for Golden Knights
Oh
fans and
yeah.
fandom. So I guess again, maybe the matchup on paper doesn't sound too crazy. You're not getting the Boston Bruins and I'm probably mixing up. There probably can't even be this matchup, but like you're not getting the Montreal Canadiens or the Maple Leafs versus whatever. You're not getting these big franchises. You're not getting these
Yeah.
A1 franchises you're not getting the Hawks. You're not getting Boston, like I just said. You're not getting Pittsburgh. You're getting Florida, and you're getting Vegas. So again, I don't maybe not. Even if I knew, probably don't know any superstars, don't know any of the main guys that are going to be on here. I know the Vegas Golden Knights had like 115, 120 points on the year, and Florida had maybe 92, 95. But you got to counter it with the fact that Florida has had a pretty solid playoff run. Who they beat, they took care of the number 1 seed and now the current regular season wins record in the Boston Bruins. They went ahead and also beat I'd be lying if
The
I tell you who they beat in the second round, but they swept the Hurricanes, so that was also pretty good. Who again they were, I think they were the number 2 or 3 seed.
yeah.
So and they got better and better as the series progressed. I believe they went from 4-3 series to a 4-1 series to a sweep. So all things to consider there. So I again, outside looking in, don't know a ton, don't know the X's and O's for sure. Don't know who's going to be, goal scorer number 1, the number 1 star of each and every one of these games. I'm not going to know the over and under because I don't know these goalies and shit like that. I would be completely relying on our buddy Bill for stuff like
Yeah.
that. So like I said, on paper, I'm still going to be intrigued because Stanley Cup playoffs, and I've argued that playoff hockey in general, just the game itself, no matter who it might be, just the game watching it is maybe the most exciting thing because you're just so fast. But
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. It'll be a good series. probably just gonna again maybe be square and go with the favorite and go with the Golden Knights. But I'm just not gonna be laying any real hardcore dollars on the Stanley Cup playoff unless I know for sure and like it was like the Hawks or something like that or something. Yeah, exactly. So, but bet
Or
responsibly.
unless Bill tells me to bet on
Exactly.
something, then
If when Bill's got for sure's and like guarantees, that's when we go in and make a little deposit into the Bet Rivers. But hey, Bet Rivers, bit.ly/Bet Rivers or bit.ly/ no sub bets. When you do that, go ahead and do that. One risk-free bet up to $500 when you deposit $25 or more. There you go. It'll match your first loss. That's how you do it. Must be in Illinois, must be 21 and older. And if you got a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Without further ado, like I said, Stanley Cup playoff, that's basically set. Golden Knights versus the Florida Panthers. You got any insight, any thoughts, anything at all? Like I said, that was my little preview. I hope that set the stage for guys like myself that haven't really been paying attention. I've been keeping up with box scores. Now, when that quadruple overtime game was on, I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. So it's just stuff like that. I'm a little bit like in the know. So, but I'm not like I don't know stats. I don't know no one's names because they got 72 vowels in everyone's last name. But there you go. That's it. Like I said, any thoughts on the finals, on the Stanley Cup final?
yeah, I'm basically know just as much as you with when it comes to hockey, and the only game that I've watched this playoffs was that quadruple overtime game, so that just shows how much I know. But yeah, it seems like it'll be a good one again. The finals especially are always good.
Yeah,
It's must watch. These teams are playing for their fucking championships, so it'll be good for sure. And I mean, if the Panthers lose, then you got Mahame. So, and Florida's got two chances to celebrate this year.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly that. Just be watching, be on the lookout. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It is always those when all the talking heads on TV are like, this matchup is stupid. No one's gonna watch this, and then it's gonna be an absolute banger of a series going, 4-3 going in overtime, and then it'll end up going 7 games or something like
I
that.
see
Just
the same with like the Heat and
yeah,
the Nuggets. People are like, who really wants to see Heat versus Nuggets? Like, well, like us
true
basketball fans.
true basketball fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not the. I mean, sorry, the casual. I know everyone. That's what everyone wants to be. That's where all the marketers and all the salespeople
Yeah, because
cater
people want
to.
like we want Lakers versus Celtics or something. Like, no, fuck you. The
No,
teams that deserve to be there get there, and that's how it works.
yeah. I mean, like I said, I wanted to see the best player, and that's currently Jokic. I want to see him in the finals, and at this point, just give me a team that actually wants to be there, and I'll take Miami. So they seem like they wanted to be there. They didn't. Seems like yeah, maybe Boston truly choked it away. Even though they yeah. So there you go. That's the Stanley Cup Finals. We can, if you got any final thoughts on that, we can go on to some MLB. It's got some NFL quickly to get to, and then a little bit of wrestling to wrap her up with as well. I'll set ready to roll right there.
Yeah, let's hit the next one.
All right, cool. I got just two things in the MLB. First off, just gotta be. I mean, it's the thing that's most popular. Right, even if the Sox took the loss, Liam Hendricks is back. Returned last night, pitched an inning, got earned runs on 3 hits and a walk on 27 pitches. But he's back. Honestly, just being that, being even that was ultimately the theme of Sox Twitter and whatever the Facebook page that I was in. It's always constantly win, lose, or draw, complaining. But the MLB, the baseball universe, and just White Sox Twitter all just set everything aside and saw that Liam Hendricks was back. And obviously, coming back from Hodgkin's lymphoma and having his leukemia had, excuse, what would that be called? Uh, uh,
What was
treatments.
it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, so just having all of that. I think I said two different forms of cancer. I'm sorry. I'm very I'm not very well informed, well educated on stuff like
You're
that.
all
So,
good, man.
but just obviously just going through all those trials and tribulations, just shit like that. Just coming back from all that and just doing anything at all and having the right mindset, being cancer free. It was all over the place. So whether they were there, whether it was booked up for Otani and Mike Trout being in the building, or for the sake that everyone knew that Hendricks was back. It was a fun night. Well, like I said, whether or not the White Sox got the win or not, I'll check later on what they're doing right now. But still good to see this that are Australian fire pitcher red. I don't know what his
Lego
nickname.
Liam.
Yeah, Lego Liam is back in the clubhouse. Like I said, hopefully it just gets everyone in a right mindset, gets everyone. We got to get out of this 11, 12, now 12 games below 500 rut. We got to get something going because, again, I've already mentioned it last time or on the Friday live show that the Sox don't need to do anything too crazy. They just need to survive and fall up the stairs in this division. So, because I think just the Central is just so bad that it's so bad. So,
Yeah.
so again, I'm all over the place like I usually am.
Oh,
Congrats, Liam. Thank you for coming back. Even like I said, it's rough start, but there'll be plenty more outcomes or plenty more times that he's going to be coming out. So, any thoughts on Liam Hendrick coming back?
it was a great moment. It was electric in the arena. His girlfriend, wife, or whatever was
Wife.
going crazy. Yeah, so it was awesome. I'm happy that
Absolutely.
he's back, and the Sox are winning right now. So
Hey, there
I'll
you
give a
go.
little spoiler warning. That's what I've been. If you ever see me looking at something, I'm probably watching some sort of sports game on the side. But Sox up big 6-3, had a big inning, fourth inning, scored 5 runs, I think it was.
That's
So
awesome. That's exactly what we want to hear. That's exactly what we want to see. Don't stop now, boys. That's what we want to
Andrew
see.
Vaughn brought in 3,
Oh, I love
and
that. There was just a
uh,
post in my Facebook page like, we can replace Vaughn. Sheets and Berger can take over first. And my comment, which is doing probably better than the post, actually, is like, Vaughn, the guy that is leading our team in RBIs, you want to get rid of him? Okay, for sure, dude. Just tell me you're not watching the games without telling me you're not watching the games. Again, just no one just talking out. They're just talking out of their ass, and they just post. Like, it should be illegal.
yeah.
You should go to jail for being dumb. I'm sorry.
There'd be a
If that
lot
was
of
the case,
people
I'd be.
arrested. Yeah, I'd be behind bars then,
Yeah, they would
probably.
probably be like, oh, you said something. Yeah, I know. That'd just be like a week. That'd be like in the slammer for a day or two. Slap on the wrist. Okay, so yeah, congrats, Liam Hendricks, coming back.
Hell yeah.
Let me see. This was my next one. This was my Astros little social media team. Uh, this was my question about fair or foul on the Astros. So, they had a series against the Oakland A's. As of now, they are the Oakland A's, working on being the Las Vegas A's. If you saw the renderings of their stadium, that's
Yeah.
going to be for Las Vegas. Not talking about that here, but that's kind of, if you did see it, little cartoony. Didn't seem like they put a lot of thought or anything into it. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe hopefully they get a little better design out of it, but I don't know. Not like I said, not too worried about it. The Astros had a series against the A's. Don't really know, don't really care about the outcome. I think the Astros probably swept. But you know, this is where the fair foul question comes in. The Astros social media team essentially roasting the A's fans or lack thereof when they posted a home run clip with the caption being hitting home runs literally in front of literally tens of fans. So that is essentially my question. Fair or foul for the Astros social media team to be roasting the A's fans that, they're having a rough go. Not only losing their squad, the team, the fans that do show up, you're maybe getting 2,000 to 5,000 people out of a 50,000, 60,000 capacity Coliseum.
Mm.
I mean, I might actually be boosting a little bit of the numbers off the top of my head, but a place that could have 45,000 people is having less than 5% of that.
Yeah, that is
Like I
not
said,
good.
just a tough go. So like there are some diehard A's fans that are there, so it's kind of it's a little shade on them. But yeah, fair or foul for the Astros to be throwing shade on the Astros on the A's fans. In my mind, like I said, no other team really does that. So how are you falling on this side?
Well, I think it's kind of funny, but they also are cheaters, so that's kind of where I'm leaning. Fuck them, but it is kind of funny.
So is it fair to say if it was maybe any other team than the Astros, then they would be like, yeah, that's fair play. That's
Yeah,
fair
like if
play.
the White Sox did it, I would be like, that's fucking
Oh, yo, yeah,
hilarious.
absolutely. If the White Sox did it, maybe even if the Cubs did it, maybe if the Padres did it or something like that. If literally
I
not
feel
the
like it's just a
Astros did it.
nice little jab. Like, I don't know. It doesn't like it's not their fault that none of the fans are going there.
Yeah, I guess it is a how you personally interpret it. I guess they could be taking the jab at the organization, which you kind of have to when you peel back the curtain. I guess it does really, yeah. It's one of those things where you have to ask an A's fan, I guess, how they feel. I can't really tell you how I feel
Yeah, I
about it.
don't know an Oakland A's fan, but if you do, if someone can find one
Call
somewhere,
text your A's fan. Text your A's friend. Make sure they're okay.
yeah, let
Uh,
us know on that.
Yeah, exactly. We can get back on that, but it's exactly how do they personally feel? Do they feel like they're attacked, being the literally tens of fans that are out there? Yeah, it's a tough go. Actually, some guy came up in my YouTube algorithm, gamer athletic, gamer Oakland, whatever. He's a fun follow on YouTube, and he just goes to Oakland games, documents the lack of people and mostly the A's just getting their ass handed to them. I think they're on pace to win 39 games or something like that. They keep throwing numbers around between
Oh my.
32. I've heard between 32 and 39 games so far this season, which like that. If you're losing over 120 games in the season, that's awful. I mean, they're
Yeah.
at 11 or 12 right now in the year. So it's been a tough. That's why I'm kind of on the sympathetic side of the Ace fan. Like it's just been, come on, man, you can't. You're really gonna kick them. Not only are they down, they're like in the ground, buried, and you're still pissing on their grave, type deal. And like, come on,
Yeah.
you don't need to do that. I mean, in the same breath, Abreu finally hit his first home run of the year. I feel like it still doesn't count because it was against the Oakland A's, but he was thrown at later because he slid into the dugout being up 7-1 at the time. So again,
What?
I can I can see it from both ends. You gotta recognize that he's excited because it was 55 games into the season. He's finally hit his first home run on the year, being Jose Abreu, being a power bat. You expect him to have already had maybe 15 on the year or something like that. So it was a little out there. He sprinted around the bases and then touched home and then slid into the dugout. So it was a little excessive. I
Yeah.
feel like, I've never hit a home run, so I've never experienced the joy of that, obviously. But I'm also in that side of, hey, man, act like you've been there before, especially when you're up big and it's the Oakland A's, my guy. Yeah, I get it. If it's a walk off against the Tampa Bay Rays, or even if it's a go ahead home run against the Yankees or something like that, do that, and that's maybe justified. But you're just dogging on a fucking team that just has no light in sight at the end of the tunnel. So it's a bad look. So that's why I'm still, again, if you want to pile on that, if you weren't fully convinced on the fair or foul part, I'll add that in as well. So like I
That's I
said,
can see it. I can see it from both sides.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So he was thrown at later. They were both issued warnings, and again, for that exact reason of like, hey man, I get it, but that's a little excessive, and we're trying to win ball games here too. We're not just like the road and pony show that you can just piss and shit on. So
Mm.
yeah, I can see it from both ends. Yeah, that was basically it on MLB. If you had any final thoughts, concerns, or any added stories or anything.
Uh, so I'm trying to think. I don't think so.
Yeah,
Let's go White Sox today. These Angels can't hang on to the goddamn ball, as it
good.
looks like. So
Good. Yeah, no. And again, shame on me for again not fully complimenting the White Sox, but not going off on them and yelling at them, just kind of being nice to them, and then they turn around and lose 3 out of 4 to the Detroit Tigers. And then they follow up by losing last night's game against the Angels. So again, just red hot every time I want to compliment them or give them any sort of benefit of the doubt. They turn around, they're like, "Oh, Nick's giving us compliments. Let me go ahead and shit in his mouth." That's
oh.
basically how I feel every single time. So, yeah, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Let's see. Go until I guess until the next White Sox check
Yeah.
in a week or two or so. We'll get a maybe I don't know, a week or so. I don't even know when the All-Star break is or when the trade deadline is. Maybe I'll give a check in around then. We'll see. That's my next for sure assigned check-in. Let's see. Going on to the NFL. If you got any final thoughts, concerns, we can get into that. Actually, some fun stuff in the NFL. Before we get into wrestling to cap us off, Bears started the demolition process in Arlington Park today.
Oh, oh.
Nothing really. I mean, nothing really to get to. This is actually just confirmed by the Sun Times or the Tribune, whichever one. I glanced at it, but like I said, for the sake of the show, don't matter that it's there. It's good. So I'm just excited. Just want no hiccups from here on out. Please and thank you. Honestly, just get this show ready to roll. Get this thing built, and give me a WrestleMania in 5 years. That's all I want, and I will have a
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Everything else, probably Taylor Swift concerts, and I don't know. I don't know. Everybody else, they'll be after they just said that Aerosmith is going on their final tour. They'll be on another final tour next year in the new stadium and stuff like that. Ozzy Osbourne will be beamed in as well, and probably Tupac and
Beamed in.
yeah. Yeah. So just stuff like that, I'm sure. So just, again, super excited. Just again, yeah, just no hiccups, my guy. That's all we want. That's basically just the start of NFL stuff. The actual big, I don't know if you had any real comments on that necessarily, but the actual NFL news came Friday morning, Friday afternoon, when the Cardinals cut 10-year veteran, 5-time Pro Bowler, wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. The Cardinals will eat $22.6 million in dead cap this year. Simply put, I mean, this is after they couldn't get a trade done. Hard to believe, I suppose. I mean, it's what really are you going to get? It's kind of disrespectful to get a 4th or 5th round out of him, I suppose, but it kind of makes sense considering he's 30. But I'm in the boat that you throw anything to DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to catch it. So he's going to be very much a positive add to any team as opposed to a negative pullback in any sort of sense. So basically, just the question: where do you think he's going to next? Where do you think he's going to next, my guy?
Oh,
Cool.
what said Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, Chargers, or I forgot. Oh, Eagles.
And now we got Deshaun Watson requesting for him to come to Cleveland for a little bit of a reunion when they were teammates down in Houston from 2017 to 2019. So about 3 seasons of being a little tandem right there. Worth an ask, I suppose, but I I wouldn't want to be. I wouldn't want to be in
No.
Cleveland. I know obviously the joke is just sitting dangling right in front of us, but yeah, I don't know, a little tapped out with these Deshaun Watson jokes. But yeah, I mean, I don't think they're necessarily poised to win the division. I think it's kind of still the Ravens. Realistically, I mean, out of the ones you said, he probably should go to the Bills, but they need. I mean, what they really need is a running back. Ah, I was kind of trying to think of a team or teams that maybe are on the cuff of being good or just something like that. That maybe not. I don't know. Because like obviously, as cool as it would be, the Bengals don't need them because they have an amazing wide receiver core.
Yeah,
I think the Eagles wide receiver core is
they
still
don't
pretty
need
stacked.
him.
I'm trying to think.
The Bills would be a great one, I think, and
Yeah,
the Chiefs would be good too because Mahomes, I mean, we
you
could
could do
use
with
another
anything.
weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about this too. I mean, they were just able to win a Super Bowl. They just traded away Tyreek Hill a season or two. I mean, this was his first full year not with the team, and they win a Super Bowl. So proves that Mahomes is making these guys happen. I think Kadarius Toney is a nice little addition. He's a little wild card. He can do as long as he stays healthy. He can do just about anything. But I mean, yeah,
Didn't
adding
they
DeAndre.
trade him?
No, no. I mean, they
Oh, I
traded
thought
for him. They traded to get him. They did not trade him after the season. No.
that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, just like as again, just realistically, would I love him on the Bears? Yes, but I don't think we're gonna win anytime soon. In the same breath, like the Packers, no. Texans, he's getting away from that stuff. Yeah, the Ravens make sense. They even though they just added Odell Beckham. Was that one of them? They wanted to have was that one of the teams that he listed off that you just listed, or
Oh,
was I tweaking?
Baltimore. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Baltimore, Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, and Chargers. That's
Okay.
what it
I like
said.
the Chargers. The Chargers would be a fun one. Even though they have Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and I guess Austin Eckler is their third best wide receiver on the team. Yeah, I mean better than Darius Guyton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean for sure. I mean to be honest, it doesn't really matter where Hopkins goes. He's going to be an immediate plus wherever. I think that like again just
Oh yeah.
you can amscray a bunch of teams. Ah, man, would it be crazy? Would it be crazy to add him on the Niners? Him
Hmm.
and Debo and Kittle, and I guess you could maybe argue that Brandon Ayuk is solid, but I would much rather have Hopkins as my number one slash for sure number two behind Debo. Just something like that, and then even in the same breath, I just if you're going AFC, just be prepared. Everything is stacked to the gills on the AFC side. If you want to be smart,
And join
DeAndre,
the
maybe
Packers.
go. No, 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 no. If you want to stay completely stagnant and keep losing, yeah, go to the Packers. Or just stay smart, go somewhere in the NFC. Like I said, I was even a little fair. So don't go to the Bears. We're not winning just yet. As much as I would love it, Fields not only throwing to DJ Moore, throw it to DeAndre, but we just are like we're not ready to win just yet. I feel so. Tons of names, tons of teams. I'm okay with basically. I'm fine with any of them. Honestly, I have no real quarrels. If it is the Bills, go with the Bills, and that's just gonna make them an odds-on favorite right at the get-go. Any other lingering thoughts on the Cardinals cutting Hopkins? Not just again baffling that they weren't able to find anything, anything at all. Just I don't know. It feels like you just need something. And not only that, sacrifice it to not have 22 million to eat in cap space. It just seems like a so brutal, so brutal. But again, the Cardinals are going to be very bad too. They're not going to have Kyler Murray for an extensive part of the season. JJ Watt just retired. That whole besides Buda Baker, that defense is just it just got awful. So yeah, not looking good for anything in Arizona. Anything anytime soon. And yeah, so any final thoughts, Hopkins?
He saw their new jerseys and wanted to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I don't know if there jerseys that atrocious. I haven't seen them.
They're god awful.
I'll try and pull it up maybe after or something like that. Or a
Yeah.
couple more things to get to.
There's
Uh,
something I want to ask you.
sure, shoot.
We were talking about it in the office today, and it made me just go crazy for a second.
I love these.
Who would you Well, I mean, I guess I was asking, who do you think is better right now? Justin Fields or Derek Carr?
Wow. um.
Because I'll just say I said Justin Fields, and
Okay.
people and they gave me they disagreed with me, which I was like, what do you mean? So I just thought about it right now, and I want to hear what you have to say.
I know I'll for sure have a more definitive answer when the season is upon us, but and yeah, I guess even besides us being Bears fan, me being a Bears fan here, yeah, I think you got to go with Fields, all for you got to go with the upside. You got to go with the upside of everything that he has, and there's a ton of factors. If you can't, I can't sit here and play the what if game of, oh, what if he had if he had the best O line in the league and actually had time to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
What I've seen out of him, I can come to the conclusion that I would probably want him more often than I would want Derek Carr. And I know Derek Carr has his pluses, he has his positives. There's a lot of drawbacks and a lot of instances where you're just sitting there scratching your head like, what are you doing there? And two, I mean, he's had Devontae Adams this past season. They've accomplished fuck all.
Mm-hmm.
And it was exactly that. I wish Justin Fields had any sort of talent like Devontae Adams out there to throw to, slash maybe even the same offensive line, because Josh Jacobs was able to run all over the league this year. Basically, he was like he was almost leading the league in rushing. He was top 5 for
Yeah,
sure.
there was a point where he was literally like the NFL posts that graphic every week where it's like leaders in rushing and shit. And yeah, Justin Fields was up there for a
Yeah,
good
Justin
while.
Fields and Josh Jacobs too.
Yeah.
Exactly. So give him that same opportunity. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna be. I guess it's exactly what I just answered. You just answered your question exactly. I'll take Justin Fields over Derek Carr for all those reasons. Like I just said, even though Derek Carr has some positives, I think Justin Fields is upside and even just the potential. And I'll take, if you're saying just right now, right this second, I'll take the idea that he got better in the offseason, throwing, putting velocity on the ball. If you've been seeing a couple of Twitter videos, he's just getting this ball's flying out of his hands, which is loving. So if he's just been working out, got a cannon of an arm now. Hopefully it's just a little bit more accurate now. Give us some time. Give him a little bit of that. And give him time not just to get better, but like give him time actually at the offensive line at the point of snap to be able to get the ball off. Yeah, all those reasons. I'll take Justin Fields. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly that.
I agree. I was just they were saying Derek Carr, he has the experience and he's thrown like over 3,000, I think, plus 4,000 yards every season he's played. So he can stay consistent. But I think again, and there's like they were saying, like Justin Fields can run, but can he throw? And it's like we know Derek Carr can throw, but he can't run around. But yeah, I think I would rather have Justin Fields. I don't care. Like you said, hopefully he can improve on his throwing and the
Yeah,
running,
and
like Derek Carr can't do what Justin Fields can do. So
yeah, I I believe exactly. I mean, he feels has said it himself. The idea of him running, doing that, redoing that same exact running season is not sustainable. He doesn't want to do that because it was visible in his games, in his play. Like he was tired. He was hurt, even though he wasn't like he wasn't injured. He was just hurt because he's running around all the time, getting tackled, unnecessary hits and shit like that. So the focus is getting better, throwing, being able to make better decisions, being able to react better. So for all those reasons, yeah, I would take that. Yeah, you can say experience and everything, but Derek Carr has choked so many opportunities away. And for every, I guess, big moment he's had, it was exactly that. He's had a bunch of shitty games and a bunch of times where he's just pissed it all away, where he's had the opportunity and just did not win. So, what is Derek Carr's success in the league. I mean, does he even have a playoff win? I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
And if he
Or
does, it's a wild card win over like probably a shitty team like Houston or Tennessee or something like that. It's just like it's nothing that goes, oh wow, like I need Derek Carr. That just seems crazy for anyone that was like hardcore harping on you. Like, yeah, I mean, sure,
not hardcore really, but
yeah,
just I was just like I just couldn't believe that they said Derek Carr. I was like I was just expecting, especially in, like here in Illinois, like I just thought everyone would be like, oh, Justin Fields for sure, but yeah.
yeah, I guess
Especially,
so.
I'm a Packer fan, and I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I would rather have
absolutely.
Justin Fields, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, I get him. I get you. Just some people just don't watch football. That's okay. They just decide to talk anyways. So that's fine. That's more than okay. I had a couple other stories, but honestly, for the sake of time, we'll just pass over it. Just you'll just get a quick gander. Kenny Pickett got his car stolen. Poor guy.
Uh,
Lock your car up.
yeah, and the
Pittsburgh is
playbook got stolen.
yeah. Goodbye playbook. That was the big thing from that. That's the only thing I wanted to get
So
to.
I
So
wonder which team that got sold to.
we'll see it on eBay.
Yeah, like that's what the
It
comments
won't
people
get
are like.
flagged.
That got sold immediately, I bet. Like I don't know, like someone just goes on like the black, like they're like, "What
Oh
do
yeah,
I do with this?" Like I have the whole Steelers playbook.
yeah. Some hardcore fucking Steelers fan just bought. Just some Yinzer from Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
He doesn't
if
even.
just a Steelers fan has it, like I know
Yeah.
what they're about to do.
Oh gee, yeah. Tony Romo bought it just so he can be better at commenting on the games this year. Even though
The
there's probably
ultimate like fan but shit talker while like just like, oh, you should have did like all
yeah.
the why
Should
didn't
have
you
called
do
half
this
eagle
play?
2-1 slide.
Oh my god. Yeah, that kind of sucks. And
Yeah.
what was the other thing that you said?
Washington, they might lose their name again. I don't think they were able to gain their IP for the Commanders or whatever,
Wow.
however the licensing is for that. So they might have another name change. So brutal going from what? They're going from the Redskins to the football team to the Commanders all within what, 5 years,
Yeah.
4 years, five
They change
years.
again. That's oh man.
I go back to the football team, honestly. And then last one, Le'Veon Bell admits to smoking weed before games. Breaking news: I think every NFL player post 2000 probably smoked weed before games. So
Josh Gordon is pissed.
yeah,
Josh Gordon is pissed off.
yeah. I mean, again, if you weren't in the cocaine 80s and then you just made the transition into smoking weed again, this isn't breaking news. I mean, everyone just seems to be partying in this smoking weed. So just do
And
that.
did you see Aaron Rodgers at Taylor Swift?
Yeah. I sent that. I think I sent that to you. That was cool. He's partying.
Yeah. And it's another thing I was talking about The Office today. I saw like an art like a page posted like Aaron Rodgers is like this, like at the concert, and there's an article like Aaron Rodgers appears to be in trance like state at Taylor Swift. I'm like you just have to
Aaron
always have
Rodgers
to
has
be
acid flashback at Taylor Swift
yeah, like
concert.
he's just fucking enjoying the show, man. He doesn't always have to be on like ayahuasca or something.
Yes, he does. He's on painkillers all the time. And I mean, he
Yeah,
gets to enjoy a nice floor seat, probably thousands plus dollars for that Taylor
ripping
Swift floor
balls
seat.
at Taylor Swift.
Now we got bad blood. I'm throwing footballs in your face.
Ah, terrified.
Oh
Oh.
Jesus, yeah. Hopefully Aaron had a decent little time at Taylor's.
Yeah, also Aaron, who was like a part owner of the Bucks in Green Bay, was integrated in there for like 18 plus years. I think I saw him go to like one fucking Bucks game. He goes to New York. He's been at Madison Square Garden like twice, at the Knicks game, at the hockey game. He's at Taylor Swift. He's doing this, he's doing that. Ah.
There's more to do in New York than
Yeah, I
Milwaukee.
mean that's what I'll say. I see Packer fans getting upset about that. It's like what there's nothing to do in Green Bay. Like I was there that one time with my brother. There's literally nothing to do unless you want to go to the local Dave and Buster's or go to the Texas Roadhouse or something in
Yeah, you can
town.
go.
It's
You can
like
go see a show at the Eagles Ballroom, at the Rave. You can go maybe
yeah, but that's
see.
it's again that's not even in Green Bay.
Yeah,
You
it's in
have to go to
Milwaukee.
yeah. Like the Green Bay itself has like nothing at
Yeah,
all.
it's basically just like the stadium, and then everyone that's like, I'm an
No,
owner. I live in Green
literally,
Bay.
like literally, it's the stadium and there's just houses around it. Like
Oh,
there's
jeez.
nothing, there's nothing. They have the little title town and stuff next to the stadium and shit. But yeah, it's literally just houses, and then like they've got a little city if you drive like, but there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. So
Yeah.
I respect Aaron Rodgers for being here as long as he was, and props like now that for him, it's probably like, fuck, like I could finally do all this shit.
I could
It's
do
like,
something. Hey, I can go see a Broadway show.
yeah, it's like it's just salty Packer fans. Like I saw like some chicks giving that argument, like, oh, he never did anything in Green Bay, and now he's doing all this stuff when he's in New York. It's like, well, there's nothing to do. You want him to
Yeah.
be at like every Brewers game and every Bucks game or something like it's.
Yeah, I would only think there's only so many dive bars you could probably go to in Green Bay.
Yeah, and he's fucking Aaron Rodgers. If he goes anywhere in Green Bay, he
Gonna
can't
be
have a normal
hounded.
night.
Yeah, no.
He's
If you
literally
saw Aaron
God.
Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers walking around Green Bay would basically be like the president of the United States walking around anywhere. I mean, I
To
don't
them,
know.
yeah, like they would like kiss his feet. Like
Yeah,
they would like
absolutely.
literally like he wouldn't be able to have a normal day.
Yeah, absolutely not. That would be, yeah, exactly. If Joe Rogan walked into a hunting shop or something like that, it would be the
Yeah.
same exact
Like I
vibe.
bet he can get around New York without every person there being like, "Oh, that's Aaron Rodgers," or it's like like it's I don't know.
Yeah, it's somewhat like it's like I'm a busy New Yorker already. I got something busy to do, or it's just like, oh, that is Aaron Rodgers, cool, or it's just like, yeah, exactly. You're gonna get one of the three, one that
Yeah.
they don't even care. They see you, they acknowledge you, they don't care, and then they're like, oh, I'll hound you. So exactly.
And if he shits the bed this year, they're really not going to give a fuck about him.
Oh, they're gonna
So
want blood. They're gonna want blood.
he's going to wish he was in Green Bay.
We wish he'd be. I just want to click his heels, and there's just no place like home. There's no place like home.
Yeah, I will. I love Aaron Rodgers, and I doubt he'll have a bad season. But if he does, the New York media, that kind of those fans, whew,
Yeah.
he's not gonna have anything like that. So
Yeah, and then we've talked about it for sure. That schedule it's not very easy, not very easy at all. So that'll definitely be something fun to watch, and that's going to be one of the big storylines, obviously, all year. Not just what we'll be talking about, but it's probably just what the NFL will be hounding all year
oh
is
yeah,
what Aaron Rodgers is doing and how the Jets are going to be weekly, weekly. That'll
oh
be
for sure,
yeah,
they'll be talked about constantly.
yeah. If you're good on all that, we can wrap up with a little bit of wrestling, and we can
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna grab my charger real fast just so I don't get
Yeah.
cooked up.
While you do that, I'll just quickly mention what I'll be watching later tonight. As well, actually, it's kicking off right now, but thankfully, my little handy dandy DVR is keeping us steady. Dark Side of the Ring season 4 premiering tonight. Opens up with the Chris Candido and Sunny episode. I mean, check your local DVRs for the actual details description of it for sure. But they just going to be a unhealthy relationship back and forth, I suppose. It wasn't really, being born in late 90s. I wasn't, I was 4 or 5 when this probably all going down. So yeah, just not all wrapped up. So good, like a show for Dark Side of the Ring to show it to me and tell me exactly what are we going to be seeing, all the unhealthy stuff from the time from late ECW time, I suppose, and then probably up until Chris Candido's death in mid 2000s. So we'll see how the premiere of Dark Side of the Ring season 4 starts, or just how the episodes are. Like I said, personally, always a big fan of Dark Side of the Rings and just the series itself. Uh, Yeah, if you ever got time on that. Oh, if you're a big wrestling between just being a big wrestling fan, or I've always had the example like me, my brother, big wrestling fans, but his wife, not at all, not in the slightest bit would be considered a wrestling fan. So, but she loves watching the Dark Side of the Rings just because they're entertaining enough, and some of them are actually just the story is wraps you up and is able to engulf you in enough drama that it doesn't really matter what the episode may be on. So, Dark Side of the Ring season 4 with Chris Candido and Sunny gonna be the season 4 premiere. Like I said, if you caught like the last couple seconds, basically just the episode is just gonna be just documenting the unhealthy relationship. Anything on Dark Side of the Ring itself, or just maybe this upcoming episode? Maybe we can give a recap next week, or maybe I can do that on Friday or something like that.
Yeah, is there any way I'm able to watch it, or is it? Do
It
I
is on
need?
Vice. It's on the Vice network. I'm sure it'll be on some sort of streaming service afterward. I think
Because that's always what's been the thing for me is I would watch it all the time, but I just don't have that network. I remember like the episodes I have watched, I've rented, so it's.
okay.
But I mean, obviously, I would watch it if I could.
I
So
I want to. Don't quote me. I want to say they're either on Hulu or they're on Paramount, which is they're on some sort of streaming service afterward for
I'll
sure.
look it up for sure.
Yeah, and
So
if
then
not,
we
we can.
could both talk about it or
Yeah,
something.
if not, I can definitely give you enough rundown that you'll be able to get a good sense of what's going on. So
Cool.
if not,
Yeah.
like I said, that's gonna be season 4 premiere tonight. Actually, like I said, as we're recording, it's 9 p.m. already, so it's going 13 minutes deep. So watch Chris Candido and Sunny at first episode. We'll get to that. Next thing on
Always
the
great
agenda.
episodes.
Oh,
So
absolutely, absolutely. They never miss. Like I was saying right before you joined in, just you could be a true wrestling fan like us over here. You can just be some people that are just passerbyers and they just need a good story that can wrap you up and get you in there, and it's good enough drama and good enough acting, and it's a good enough storyline sometimes that it can do exactly that. So, Dark Side
and
of the Ring, always
it's
good.
nice seeing perspectives from like the wrestlers that you know and love. They have a lot of people on there that you'll recognize. So
Yeah,
it's very
absolutely.
well done.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Just they get everyone that was actually there at the time. This isn't just people speculating and trying to figure it out. These are people
Yeah.
that were there at the time.
I
So
always think
always
back to
really
the
good.
Chris Benoit episode. 'Cause, I mean, just they did that just so well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, between the interviews with Chavo and Vicky,
And
everything else,
Chris
having
Jericho and
Chris
like everyone,
Jericho,
yeah.
Benoit's son, the other son. Uh, yeah, just phenomenal episodes every single time. They never miss. Let's see. We can wrap up a couple quick ones before we get to the results from the 2 pay-per-views. Billy Corgan says, and turns I guess we aren't now. You aren't a wrestling fan if you aren't watching Tyrus, Brodus Clay. If you're not watching Brodus Clay and NWA, you aren't a wrestling fan. So, Mike, I guess we're not wrestling fans. I guess that's it. It was fun while it lasted, I suppose, and it was fun watching wrestling, but I guess we're just not watching. We're not wrestling fans because we don't watch Tyrus. What new hobbies will you be getting into now that you aren't a real wrestling fan
I've
anymore?
been
I was gonna,
playing golf, so I can get more better at golf now. And
yeah,
it's
that's good. That's
you
pretty
take
good.
my you could take my patch of honor, then I'll just never watch wrestling again.
Yeah, I was maybe gonna think crocheting, something like that. Maybe get my fingers dirty and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe it's like maybe gardening. I've been really like exotic gardening, not just like cucumbers and tomatoes. And I was gonna like bell peppers and shit like that, like some of the Peruvian puff pepper. I don't know. Just yeah, like I said, Billy Corgan breaking the news that if you aren't watching his shitty excuse me, if you're not watching NWA, his shitty promotion at this time, yeah, I'll just I'm not even correct it.
Yo,
It's god
Nick,
awful.
do you hear that? I think that the funk is on a roll or something.
Yeah. Don't play too much because I'll get fucking flagged. Yeah, it's okay. I wasn't able to hear any of that
Oh my
anyways.
god, good. It's just the
Funk is on a
Funkasaurus.
roll.
It's just the Funkasaurus.
Somebody call my mama. I have to call my lawyer after that. Fuck. No, I mean, what they've been churning out. What was it? It was Murdoch versus Tyrus versus Matt Cardona. That's how Tyrus got or retained the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. My God.
Oh,
What? Nobody wanted that. Anyone that saw that should have been handed their money back immediately. That is disgusting that you're offering that. You're saying that's your product and you're proud of it. That is insane. Yeah, just to sit there and not only that, he's on some I don't really care. You can be on it, but it's just kind of funny when you're like hardcore into your politics and you're just chilling with the NWA title on Cuomo. He's on some fucking, like I said, some Fox liberal show, some Fox conservative show,
yeah.
talking politics while he's just chilling with the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. He was in a Super Bowl commercial with the title for that show because he's
What?
on so many times. If you, I don't know if you recognize that he was in the commercial this year. Bonkers, absolutely bonkers. So
Wait, what commercial?
it was a commercial for that guy's TV show. He's on some show called I think it's called Cuomo.
Oh,
Just
I don't know if
Anthony
that's Andrew. Oh, Anthony
Yeah,
Cuomo.
Anthony
I
or
don't know if
Andrew.
it's Andrew because I think that one of them got canceled. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
either
do know
way.
of them.
So he's on some Fox show consistently as just like I don't
Just
know.
talks about politics and stuff.
Yeah, he's just in for fun. That's his
That's not
thing.
what you should be doing.
That's not what I want to see from my world heavyweight champion. If fucking if oh my god,
What
just
a way to
imagine if
draw
MJF
a line in the sand with
if
your
MJF
audience.
logged off of AEW and then we just saw him on MSNBC later talking about everything. I would just be like, "What are you doing, dude? Like, what are we doing here?"
That starts to blur the line between wrestling and reality. Then people are gonna see that and legitimately not like him because of political views that he has. Like it's not a good
My
thing to
points
do.
exactly. Like I said, I don't know what his points of view are on anything. I don't watch that show. I don't really care for shit like that. As long as you believe in basically basic human rights for people, we can kind of believe in some level ground. But when stuff gets all hairy in there, but like I said, I don't know what he stands for, who he's voting for, what he's doing. I can only assume being on the show that he's on, what he's thinking politically. But
Yeah, take a guess.
yeah, but yeah, it's exactly that. I mean, so Tyrus or NWA in general, unless we're talking Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, I'm not watching this NWA anytime soon. So that's basically it. I'm not watching anything that they come out. Like I said, they had some. My brother, God bless his heart, he sent me some show, the show that they had about
Oh
2 months
no.
ago. And I looked at the thing. I'm like, I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see any of these performers. I don't want to see any of these wrestlers anywhere near me. So please, I'm not going. Take care. That was it. So NWA, not going to be watching
Your
that.
brother is a true wrestling fan. He watches
He wants to
Impact,
fill the
he
time.
watches
It's
it
yeah.
all.
Support the shows that come around, and whether they're my cup of tea or not. It's just he wants to go, and I commend him for it. But just sometimes the shows are just absolute shit. You gotta know no one. I guess no one to hold
Yeah.
them, no one to fold them.
It's like when he'll be talking about something that happened on Impact, and you'll just be like, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah, other than PCO getting his mouth stapled shut, I'm not really involved. I don't know. I haven't been wrapped up since Abyss and AJ Styles were in
Yeah,
Impact.
and I was gonna say that, and last time NWA might have been any relevant whatsoever is when Ricky Starks was in there, but
Yeah,
that's about it.
yeah, when they were on YouTube
Yeah.
consistently, and then Jim Cornette said something racist, so they got
Yeah, and people were when they were on YouTube, there was a small bit where people were like, "Oh, this is cool. I like the old school style," but now no one
like the
gives a fuck
studio style
anymore.
wrestling, and then that no one gave a shit 2 weeks after that.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. And then like, oh boy, the big get is gonna be Chris Masters,
Yeah, because it was 20 years
Damian
too late.
Sandow. I like me some Damian Sandow, but he should not be your top tier talent.
I like Damien Mizdow more.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly my point. Uh, yeah. I mean, just that was basically it.
These
Billy
are just
Corgan.
such horrible people.
Just yeah,
Like
just
Brodus Clay and Damien Sandow.
Trevor Murdoch is like I said, that was the
And
former.
Zack Ryder. Like that, these are the people you
Yeah, next we're gonna get fucking Mark Miro and I don't know, Puke, even though he's fully paralyzed.
Oh
And
my god.
who else are we gonna get? Or Draws. Who else are we gonna get? Who else can we
Maybe
get? Probably.
Leo Rush could go over there
Yeah,
or something.
Maven. So who else is a really good big mid card? Who gives a shit name? Yeah, like if he wasn't so huge and working behind the scenes with Impact, like D'Lo Brown, just some stupid shit like that. Like, oh boy.
Reteaming. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I got that. There was a fan attacking an indie show over the week, but I just saw really the clip. I just when it comes to stuff like that, just security, get to it. It was tough to. They didn't know the kid wasn't the guy was well, it wasn't a kid. It was like a full grown man with some
What
sort of
happened?
he was in a Spider-Man costume, I think. He went
What?
ahead and attacked one of the wrestlers, and it looked like it was just like an interference. So a lot of people in the audience thought it was a part of the show. Quickly became very apparent that they're like, what is this? Who is this? What's going on? And he like body slammed one of the women, and then it was like, all right. Then one of the not. It was a good. It was an okay bump. She didn't like land on her head or neck or anything like that. It was actually she actually did take it pretty well. He actually did perform it pretty
So
well.
he
But
was trying to just get his moment. Like he wasn't trying to fuck them up. He was just trying to get his
yeah,
moment
he
in
was
the
trying to.
sun.
Yeah, it wasn't like a shoot. Like he was trying to beat the fuck out of them. He was like trying to do wrestling moves and stuff. But again, they didn't know this person wasn't a part of the show. This was a fan, and I think probably a fan with some sort of mental
Oh
problem. Like I
no.
said, I didn't look into it. I didn't want to give too much comment on it. Like I said, if that was the case, but security, get on that. Bookers, get on that.
Yeah.
People running the show. You need to, something needs to be put in place. Like, yeah, that guy cannot. That guy is not supposed to be there.
He thought it was Spider-Man 1. He was looking for the Macho Man. You got me for 30 minutes. Oh,
I got you
yeah.
for 3. It's Bonesaw. I got you for 3 minutes. Oh, I'm gonna throw dirt in your eye. Yeah. So Spider-Man or whoever that fan was attacking the indie show.
Spider-Man.
Not a good one. Not
I
a
don't
good
think it
go.
was Spider-Man.
Spidey, you need to relax. Let's see. So that was basically that. Got a couple more. Basically just the 2 results to get to.
Yeah,
Let's take
let's
a
hit 'em.
gander. Night of Champions and Double or Nothing. I'll give you a big hint as to which one we actually watched. Well, spoiler, I already mentioned that we actually watched Double or Nothing in the beginning, but regardless, we can kind of breeze through Night of Champions, considering I mean, I didn't really watch it. I didn't even really see a lot of highlights
Yeah.
considered. All I know is it opened with the World Heavyweight Championship match and Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Didn't really get a breakdown. Probably was an okay match. I mean, for all things considered. And again, I broke this. We previewed it on last week's episode, and I even doubled down and did it on the live episode. Completely okay with either one, and kind of makes sense that a red hot Seth Rollins was going to get this win anyway. So, did you get any highlights? Was there any buzz around this? Was it worth maybe a playback, a watch back?
I didn't really see much. So the only highlight I saw online was from the main event. So we can get into that. But yeah, I really didn't see much from this show. But I did see that Rollins won. So I was saying in the last episode I wanted him to win. So I was happy with that outcome.
Yeah, let's see. I'm just trying to read over some notes. Styles didn't get his head up when Rollins went for the stomp, so the Visionary was forced to adjust in midair. I don't know what that was supposed to mean. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wish I maybe caught anything of it all
Yeah,
to
I didn't
get some
see
actual
like the
notes on it.
ending or anything. Like I didn't see any clips.
Yeah. So overall, like I said, moving just the storyline forward, a lot of people were like, "Oh, AJ Styles deserves better," but I'm also in the understanding that AJ Styles is kind of just there to collect checks, and kind of slowly go on into the yonder. He's 45 years old, so I don't need to see him in the broken down stages, keep carrying around his body everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, On to the next one, Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, and I feel like I called this one in the sense that not only did I think I said Trish was going to win, but she was probably going to pull some BS, and sure enough, Zoe Starks,
Yeah, some
someone,
girl from NXT.
yeah, someone interfered and got involved and carried on this. I think my exact words were, I don't want it to happen. Therefore, the storyline is going to continue. So there you go. It's exactly what happened. Becky Lynch gets screwed over, so that gives her the out, meaning they're going to continue this feud, and we get more Trish Stratus. And I mean, like I said, yay for the sake of her being able to get in there, and it wasn't as brutal as, like I said, Lita getting involved. But yeah,
It
I'm
seems
just
like Trish Stratus isn't going anywhere either.
Yeah, that's the kind of the thing. She's there. She's the person like they pick up on these stretches of like, oh hey, maybe like go get her for the main. It was like MVP the other year when they got him for Royal
Yeah.
Rumble, and then he just kind of stuck around, and he's still here. He's like a flea. You can't get him off. Uh, I I hate to compare Trish Stratus in that same sense, but again, I didn't, and I didn't ask for this feud. I don't care for it. I don't care. So carry on. There you go. More Trish
People like Trish
Stratus.
Stratus, so she has a better
Yeah, and it's just
chance of
more of
staying
a more of a
around.
vessel to push this uh what was her name? Yeah, this Zoe Stark character,
Yeah.
NXT gal. So whatever. If that's what it's gonna be, that's fine. On to Mustafa Ali and Gunther. The recap that I heard was essentially just a 5-6 minute, not a squash, but because Gunther is a good performer, able to make it look realistic. Being uh, being the size difference, made it realistic that Mustafa Ali was actually getting in what he got in on Gunther, but Gunther was able to quickly extinguish the flame, the comeback flame of Mustafa Ali, hit him with basically the power moves that he has, and was a quick 1, 2, 3 after a power bomb or something like that. So jumping for joy over a 5-6 minute, essentially a squash match. No, but gets the job done and lets us understand that, like, hey, Gunther got another win, and it should be like that because he's Gunther, he's the Intercontinental Championship. So if you
Mhm.
gave that, I'll agree with what I heard basically on Jim Cornette's podcast. What you give that match to anybody else, probably isn't going to be as really as entertaining as that. It would probably just be seen as like a flop match, a flop 5-6 minute squash match. But because Gunther is good and entertaining, he made that better than what it was. But like I said, I didn't see it personally, but kind of just probably could have just thrown that matchup on Raw. There was no real threat of Mustafa Ali ever winning that
Probably,
and
yeah.
ever winning that title. So yeah. Big shocker here after that. Bianca Belair and Asuka. Asuka actually getting the win and beating Bianca, getting the title. So I guess that can be setting up what I would think would be Rhea versus Bianca coming up soon, because Rhea retained real quick on Natalia, which I heard was a 30-second, 45-second squash
Yeah,
match.
on her birthday.
Oh, brutal, brutal. But I mean, as talented as they are, and I know they could probably actually put on a good match, Natalia shouldn't be competitive with Rhea Ripley right now. No one really, besides probably Asuka or Bianca, or if you wanted to push someone like uh, Charlotte again back in that same
Yeah.
same sense. No one really should be competitive with her besides those. And so good for them, I guess. Just doing that can keep pushing both those. I kind of reviewed both of those women's matches all in one, but again, nothing really too big. I guess, like I just
Yeah.
said, if it probably was an okay match, but just sets up the idea that Bianca loses, so they can have the or they can have the Rhea versus Bianca feud. Like I said, there was that Rhea squash Natalia real quick. on to, is that the last two? Yeah, it would be Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. Uh, what was your did you see anything from this? Did you take anything away from this? Just the
Cody passed out, right?
yeah,
That's the one thing that I saw.
passed out from an armbar, broken arm, bro, passed out from an armbar. Kimura passed out from an armbar.
And Cody called him
This
out on Raw yesterday, so they're gonna fight again.
Yeah, I mean, his promo, some were like, "Oh my god, his promos are amazing," and then they like quoted it what he said. It was, I thought it was like a troll tweet, but this person was very much hardo legit on the WWE side, considering they had a John Cena picture as their Avi. So it was like, "You didn't make me tap out." Like, I don't know what the quote was exactly, but it's just like basically paraphrasing, I didn't tap out. I passed out. You couldn't make me tap out. It's just like, well, you still lost either way. And I don't know, is it really worse or better that you passed out instead of tapping out? Exactly that. The result was still that you lost. So gives him an out because he had the broken arm, and it gives him an out because yada yada, the pain or what is so intense. Blow me. Honestly, again, they missed. They missed the mark to give Cody his title, to give him his moment. Whether people would have thought it was too early or just too forced, that was the time.
Yeah.
Any other time to give him his WrestleMania moment or opportunity to beat Roman or to make anything worth a shit has come and passed. So good luck. Good luck with this whole Cody endeavor. Honestly, I'm way over it. If WWE fans still feel like they got one over on AEW people, so be it. Honestly, you got a guy that cries on the mic, and they're like, "Oh my god, he's so good at the promos, and he puts on some good matches." But honestly, the whatever he books himself into a corner every single time. It's two instances already in a row now. So
Well,
like I
he
said,
doesn't have a say on it anymore, so
yeah, that was the thing. That was literally that was my favorite part. It's just like, oh, he couldn't. Just whatever. So I don't. I'm over Cody Rhodes a bit. I know again, we've seen more and more of this because now it's tied 1-1. We'll be getting another Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes match, whether that be, I don't know, probably whatever the next pay per view premium live event. Excuse me. Get shot probably
yeah,
by.
they had 3 main events at Night of Champions, and they opened the show with a main event. Michael Cole said, "If this is the first main event of the night," and they opened
Is
the
that
show.
you're
Yeah,
joking?
no, I'm
You're just
serious.
trying to piss
No,
me off.
they opened the show and they said this is the first of 3 main events,
That
and I
just
was like, "That doesn't. That's not how this works. The main event is the last match of the show." Save me. So the opening match was the main event of the main event.
I just don't want to waste my breath about how stupid that sounds and how stupid that actually is. Like
It's so
I
dumb.
shouldn't have to explain that to anybody as to why how infuriating that should be. You're speaking to us like we're fucking children, and you're making shit up. Fuck you, WWE.
Oh
Unbelievable. I'm gonna sue the WWE. So thank you, Brock, for just beating up Cody and making him look like an idiot again. That was cool.
yeah, and everyone in AEW laughs at you.
Yeah, honestly, what a joke. Honestly, what a joke. You could add so much
He could
more.
have been headlining Collision, you know. He
In the
could be
world in the palm of your hands. You could have been help sell out at Wembley for 100 years of Wembley. Nah,
80,000 people.
you chose the blood money in Saudi Arabia. I like that one too. We will never take our talents to Saudi Arabia. We will never put them in that predicament. And then just wow, him in
No.
front of everyone in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, cool. Yeah, just just a mark for yourself, just a mark for it. Yeah, just
And then
unbelievable.
Brandy Rhodes, I'm happy that, and if anyone still doubts that he should have stayed in the last company, like
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah, what a tough hill to be on when the company again, that country that they went to and that they're throwing a promotion in such a big show for. Yeah, they basically just don't believe in rights for women's or just basically human rights and
And
stuff
they
like that.
publicly execute people.
Yeah, they're yeah, exactly. They're stoned to death and not the good kind. Exactly. So it's just
So
they
maybe they partook in some of that while they were over there, watched that or something. But
yeah. Hey, this is the best part. Come here.
oh
Oh,
my
he got his
god.
head smashed. Oh my god, you see that? You see his brains?
That's
Yeah.
so fucked up.
It'd be like the scene I fell off with Walking Dead, but it'd be like, oh, when Glenn gets his head bashed in, probably
Oh,
they're probably just watching something like that.
spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Glenn gets fucking cooked and you can't tell it's him anymore.
He looks like a bowl of soup afterward. Oh man. Let's see. On to the main event. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa. And again, I feel like I don't remember necessarily what I said. I did feel like I have some sort of prediction here where the Usos were going to get involved, whether or not it was going to help or hinder Roman Reigns. I don't remember. I did want Roman to win for the sake of just chaos ensuing and Roman Reigns having a bunch of titles,
That would
but
be funny.
yeah, exactly. So I was also just okay with them not doing that. So yeah, just I guess the bloodline, just the storyline continues with now the Usos have turned on Roman and Solo, super kicking Roman after accidentally super kicking Solo. Just not, no, we ain't gonna take it. We ain't no one's bitch, basically type feeling. So there you go. That's what leads to Roman and Solo losing, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn retaining their tag titles. Overall, I know the huge pop came in the beginning when Sammy talked in Arabic to the entire crowd. So that was good that was big for them there. So that's cool. Uh, and then yeah, overall, like I said, from the match, I didn't really get anything else other than that was basically the ending, and that was the
Yeah,
ending
that's
pop. So
really all I saw.
yeah,
Civil War within the bloodline.
yeah, absolutely. Pick your side. I guess, and then yeah,
So now they're gonna drag this out for months and months. He'll fight both of these Usos in single pay-per-view matches, and yeah, just anything they can until they get back to Roman versus Cody at WrestleMania.
yep. Anyway, to dodge and dip and dive around all that
So
just to
have
make it
fun
more
with
and
that,
more.
WWE fans, watching, basically knowing it's all leading up to. So that's what you get. Have
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, that's yeah. I that's that. I guess that is the overlying issue with WWE fans and everything like that. Why we have that little back and forth. I guess like, oh, why can't you just enjoy wrestling? It's just because we're sick of being talked down to, and we know what's gonna happen. It's so goddamn predictable.
Yeah.
And yeah, and at least with AEW, like some of it might be, but on the flip side, they completely flip it on your head. Sometimes they do give you a curveball more often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just I don't know. I don't want to sit here and say one is more predictable and one is more, but
WWE
whatever.
is definitely more predictable.
Yeah, yeah, I guess
Everybody
so.
knows that they're building up for Roman and Cody. Like they're like Roman's not gonna lose his belt to any of these people. Like it's just like no matter who he fights, he's not gonna lose.
Yeah,
You know that.
yeah, and that's exactly and then the arguments online and occur like, oh, who's the writing on this and then the storyline that it's just overall like you're always gonna get a better match in AEW from no matter what. Basically, I mean, yeah, with a couple outliers for sure, but in the WWE, but overall, any just match, any general match you throw together is probably going to be a better matchup than anything you're going to get on. It's just between Raw, SmackDown, and even NXT at this point. You're going to get a better matchup on Dynamite more often
Probably,
than not.
yeah.
And yeah, just it's a shame. So I'm in that boat. Of course, I would love for all professional wrestling to be good. I would love that, but I harp on NWA and Impact a little bit, but not as much as WWE, just because they have all the means and all the money to do so, and they've been there for 50 years, 40 years, and they still just continue to spit in our face. And then every year they'll continue in some way, some sense. They'll be like, yeah, you'll hear the same shit. We're finally listening to our fans, or something's going to change, or whatever the next big thing, this is going to shake up the WWE, and everything stays exactly in place. So that's always where the issue lies with this shit. That's why,
Yeah.
again, where people can pop off and, oh my god, this was such a good match, and this was such a good pay-per-view overall, and you just sit back and you're like, man, half of this shit could have been on Raw, and the other half could have been, yeah, I guess maybe built up on a pay-per-view, but at the end of the day, no, none of this stuff ever really lives up to it in my mind. So a couple of things here or there. That's why you get these reviews, and just for me, it's like I try and watch what I can, but overall, it's just not worth my time, not worth my effort. So yeah, that's just how it be. So whenever it is really really good, I'll watch it back, and I'll shut my mouth and I'll just enjoy it. But
Doesn't
till
happen
then,
very often.
exactly, does not happen very often. So when I do shut my mouth, I'm usually watching an AEW program, and that
Mhm.
was Double or Nothing over this weekend. We can quickly go through some results overall. I mean, there was a couple more matches on here than there was Night of Champions, so might be sitting on there for a couple more segments. But just to breeze through some stuff. The buy-in was the Hardys and Hook versus Ethan Page and the Guns. The overall feeling, even though the Hardys and the Hook won, Jeff Hardy not looking so
He
hot in the
needs to
ring.
give up.
Yeah, just that Hardy run, that last little bit that we wanted. Unless there's truly some last little bit in the tank, unless there's something that Jeff Hardy wants to, show us that he wants to truly be there, I don't think we're gonna get a last little title run. So do what we can with, I guess the what would it be? Just the curtain jerker type stuff that we're gonna get buy-in stuff from the Hardys, I guess now. So a little fall from grace, but it's what happens when you make poor decisions.
Yeah.
21-man battle royal for the international championship. There was tons of potential, a lot of good mid card guys that we could get around and say, hey, you could argue that he should get the title for X, or hey, realistically, you could put the title on him too. And
They
you were
blew it.
disappointed. Yeah, you were disappointed that they kept it on Orange Cassidy. The online community, not for the majority, but a lot of posts were like, I need to get away from this Orange Cassidy reign. Even, and they also throw in this MJF reign, but we'll get to that later. But these longer reigns, some of them, I just think this international championship one should have ended right here. And if it didn't end there, hopefully it's on its way out soon, because really dragging out this Orange Cassidy stuff, as much as I do like it, and as much as I love Orange Cassidy and the performance he puts on from time to time,
He's a gimmick wrestler.
exactly, you need to give him some time. And it's just like, how can we miss you if you're never gone type deal. And yeah, just like I said, they've been pushing this idea like, oh, his wrist hurt, his back is hurt, his ass is hurt, so everything on Orange Cassidy is in pain. Let him lose to somebody and let the international championship be put on somebody else for some time. Like I said, no hard feelings on Orange Cassidy, like what he did, like this reign, just time for someone different. And that was the opportunity to maybe put it on a hot feud like Ricky Starks and Jay White. Couldn't do that. Could have threw it on Keith Lee and Swerve. Couldn't do that. And that's basically where it was. That's basically it. Like, you're not gonna throw it on Penta and Ray Phoenix, as much as they probably do deserve it. They're just mixed up in a bunch of AEW and Ring of Honor storylines already. Don't need any more stuff on them. Can even
Yeah.
arguably could have even put it on like Brian Cage. Throw him a bone. He's been eating shit since he's been here in AEW.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, just again, realistically, you're not going to throw it on Bandito as much as you like him, or Big Bill, or Davari, or Tony Nese, the best friends, or Pip Sabian, or the butcher and the baker and the candlestick maker. No one's gonna get the title from them. So it should have been, like I said, Swerve or Jay White, Ricky Stark, Keith Lee, but
Yeah,
always another
hopefully
opportunity
hopefully
on.
soon.
Yeah, hopefully soon. That'll be the case. I'll just stay a little bit more optimistic, and maybe.
Tony Khan just really likes Orange Cassidy, I think.
Yes, he does. I mean, he dressed up for him on Halloween, so a little bit of a mark for Orange Cassidy with for sure.
I mean, when we were there for Double or Nothing, that one it was what it was Kenny. It was Kenny. I forget what the
Kenny
title match
Pack
was. It was
and Kenny
Kenny
Pack and
Pack and
Orange
Orange
Cassidy.
Cassidy,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like
It was a good triple. It was a good three-way.
it was
Three-way.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely like one of those things. Like one of these things is not like the other. One of these things does not belong, and it was Orange Cassidy for sure compared to Pac and Kenny Omega, who
Yeah.
essentially had their blood feud in the AEW. But yeah, still waiting on more. Let's see. Unsanctioned match between Adam Cole and Chris Jericho with Sabu as the special enforcer. We got to see Sabu get. I mean, I was shut up right away. I said, "Damn, I don't know what he's gonna do. Is he gonna do anything? He probably can't. He just had hip surgery. He just retired, and he's like." Hold my beer, hold my bong, and he jumps off the top rope and through a table, taking out Daddy Magic and the other one.
Yeah,
uh,
Sabu was going hog wild in this
Yeah, so
match.
very early. So he got his money's worth very right away, getting the chair sword fight with Jericho, and like I said, the table's spot. And then Daniel Garcia throws him into the barricade. So he kind of, like I said, he got his bumps, he got his due in. Overall, the match itself, I can't really think of anything that was too special or too crazy. Just a couple of table spots here and there. Maybe you can. He got whipped the shit out of. Britt Baker came in and just whipped the tar out of Jericho with the kendo stick, so she got her redemption, and then also hit Saraya as well. That was a good scene in the afterward point of view. You're a target worker, and it's just Jericho and Saraya yelling at you. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, just that was the only thing, the takeaway of it. I wish it ended right there, but exactly that. We're gonna have a mixed tag match following on Dynamite now. I'm just sitting there like, okay, you had me. I didn't like the idea of Jericho. You need to work with Jericho. Now it kind of flipped on me. I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad. Now it needs to end, and it didn't. We're still extending this, like, hey, I'm Trish Jericho. I didn't get this. You're still better than me. No, just let Adam Cole do something else now. Go face MJF, because we'll get to that later. But
Oh,
I don't
that'll
know.
be great.
Yeah, any thoughts on the unsanctioned match?
Yeah, it was all right, and ending with the ref stoppage, but Adam Cole just beating Jericho down, not even a pinfall
Yeah,
or
I
anything.
think he
So
was what was a little screwy was Adam Cole didn't realize that he got his foot all tangled up when he did the knee to the back of the head. He got the chain nice and tight around his ankle, so he couldn't move his right arm at all. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did not.
So that's why it seemed like he could only move his left, and then I was like, oh man, that sucks. He could only move his left. It would be much more effective if
Oh,
you could
so
use the
oh,
chain arm and hit him with the chain, but it was so wrapped up, and like he could at this point he couldn't even like round up his arm to do a punching motion. So that's why he was just hitting him only with his left, and it kind of looked a little wimpy and a little bit of lax. Like I said,
it
just
did, yeah.
yeah. So it
That explains
should have
that.
been a better, more like, oh my god, he's hitting him with the chain, he's gonna kill him, but he could only muster up hitting him with his left hand because he legitimately couldn't move his right arm. So
Huh.
that's what I thought. That's what probably went down. Again, it does look, like I said, through cameras and everything like that, doesn't look all too pleasing. So I get what that's coming from. Let's see here. After that, they had, I don't know if it was immediately after, but it just in the matchup I'm reading. Tag titles, FTR, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal. Overall, no complaints. Move the storylines along. Like I kind of predicted, like, oh, Mark Briscoe was gonna realize, like, oh, the FTR is my friends. They've actually been my friends the whole time, and Lethal and Sanjay Dutt have been fucking me over. Sure enough, that's basically what happened. So good spot with the guitars and yeah, exactly that. Karen Jarrett hitting Aubrey Edwards with the guitar and then falling
Yeah, and
was
it's slipping.
yeah, was a big hype spot right there for sure. So overall, like I said, FTR retaining. Uh I liked it for what it's worth. I know you're not gonna get main event caliber matches out of FTR when they're not going up against the Young Bucks or the Briscoe brothers. But it was a good attempt, for what it's worth. And like I said, in terms of just having a good wrestling match and pushing along an old timey type like territory esque storyline, I felt in this way. It was okay. So anything on FTR versus Lethal and Jarrett?
uh I'm just there's nothing that really, I don't know, nothing that really
Nothing, like I said,
sticks
nothing
out
stood
to
out.
me from the match specifically, but yeah, I'm glad that FTR won, and I don't know, I guess they could still do this if they want, I guess, but
Yeah, they can keep going on with this, I'm sure. But in my mind, FTR is always looking for some bigger and better things. In terms of what's next, who's next, I'm always looking forward to it should be the Young Bucks and FTR next, but I'm sure there's going to be someone in between.
they're probably not done yet with
Yeah,
this
the Elite and the
BCC
the
shit.
BCC is
Yeah.
still underway. We'll get to that later. But yeah, like I said, maybe yeah,
Yeah,
honestly,
that's
no
what I think
suggestions.
about. I try to think about a tag team that they could fight, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
They
run
do
it
have
back with the Acclaimed. Maybe yeah, it's a tough go. Having I would love another could run it back with the Lucha Bros as well, but they're also they have the Ring of Honor tag titles. Maybe they'll run some unification title type deal.
once Aussie Open is all good and healthy, they could
Yeah,
fight them.
that would also be fun to see too. That would also be fun to see too. We got in a ladder match for the TNT Championship, Wardlow and Christian. I threw it out there, and I'm not gonna sit here and die on the hill of it. If you got something to counter with it, I'm sure. I think this may have been Wardlow's best match. I think this is just in terms of not only just keeping it engaged, looked dominant throughout the entire time. It wasn't cartoony, because sometimes some people in this company can get a little out there and like, hey, maybe we should do this, and it's like it's a little crazy with the outcomes. But Christian keeps it realistic, especially in a ladder match. He's been there, done that. They highlighted it. It was his 23rd ladder match in his career.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. But yeah, just overall, just pushing the storyline, getting the point across, making him look good on both beating up Christian and getting that spot on Luchasaurus, having the
Yeah.
wherewithal, and then having Arn Anderson involved, which is just to counter having Luchasaurus there made some sense. So it wasn't complete overkill with the run-ins and shit like that. So, like I said, for all intents and purposes, I think that was Wardlow's best match. Besides maybe the steel cage match with Cody, you could argue that as well. But up until this point, I would say maybe his best match. Any thoughts on the ladder match?
Yeah, that it was a good match, and that swanton from the top of the ladder was insane. It's like
Yeah.
Luchasaurus was solely there just to take that.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And yeah, good that they retain so they can get this idea of the hot potato title that I was calling it that, but a lot of people were, for lack of a better word, just like, oh, it moves around too much. There's no established thing with the TNT
And
title.
it might have been, but now they can stop doing that for
Yeah,
the
I think
time
so.
being.
I think
And
so. And I think that made him again for the time being. I think that was just an improv call, because Wardlow got his stuff
yeah,
stolen out of his car. Literally didn't have gear for X amount of weeks, probably. So it was just like, hey, he can have it. No, not he probably didn't say that, but like, hey,
they're just like,
Powerhouse
we've
Hobbs
already
can
been
have it.
flip-flopping anyway, so why not?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And to everyone that was like, it's gonna kill Powerhouse Hobbs. Really? Again, like he's just so young of a career. That's what's gonna be the nail in the coffin, or losing the TNT title in 2 weeks.
No.
To a guy that's just as big, if not bigger than him. All right, yeah, for sure. His career's over.
Yeah,
Go.
I can think of a bunch of people that have had the title for like a day and have gotten injured, and like Daniel Bryan, night after
Yeah,
WrestleMania, when he won both titles, he had to give them both
yeah.
up. Like
Finn
it's
Balor,
yeah,
same
I was
deal.
thinking
Just
about
shit
that.
like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah. I know. And as we know, they're both their careers are done,
they'll
so they're
be
not.
fine.
Yeah, no. Yeah. There we go. On to the next one, which was, also actually report of an injured person in this match. Jamie Hayter had some sort of shoulder injury, so uh, we kind of knew the writing on the walls in this one, that it wasn't going to be for long, and it probably was going to be a title change. And sure enough, it's exactly what happened. Tony Storm, with some assistance from the Outcasts, throwing Jamie Hayter into the ring, already, like I said,
Yeah,
grimacing on the shoulder, really pushing the shoulder. But like I
made
said,
it
she's
seem like they beat her up before the match
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. So it was okay for them to act on that. It made sense. Like I said, just with getting the wind of and knowing that she's actually injured, Fightful reported on that or something like that. Uh, so it makes sense to call that audible. So like, oh, well, this was so out of the blue. Yeah, like I said, injury, gotta call an audible. And you put it on someone that it makes sense. You can kind of get, she's somewhat involved. She's very much involved with this the storyline. The Outcast trying to be, for the front runner, the breadwinners of the women's division, shit like that, and then also can still get Britt Baker looped into it as well, which is
Yeah,
basically,
I like them. They're one of
yeah,
the only fun things going on with the women's division. So I
yeah,
see people talk shit about them, and they're like one of the only interesting things where I'm like, oh, it's the Outcast. Like, okay, like
yeah.
that's
It's
the
the
only time
Outcast.
I'm
Like,
actually,
here's gonna be some chaos or something crazy. Someone's
yeah.
gonna get screwed up. Yeah, so that's fine. Like I said, as much as I like, Jamie Hayter in that spot or whatever, that's fine. That's just it.
And
You
now
gotta.
Tony Storm can be the champ without being the interim champ
That's
like
true
she
too. Yeah,
was.
no need for that interim horrible title on the title's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. They had an open challenge for the trios championship title, and it was the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass called to be the opponent in that one. So they are answered the call, excuse me, for that open challenge. Pretty solid match, pretty entertaining. I think the highlight may have been Max Caster's rap about Buddy Matthews being a cuck to Dominic. But overall, like I said,
Yeah,
the match was pretty entertaining, as are most House of Black matches. Like I said, I was kind of a little bit of in and out of this on this one. I'll be honest, I didn't have my full attention just because, just the time of day, and as that was, I was kind of lingering on my phone. But like I said, just one of those things, run of the mill, gets the job done, has a solid performance, and just yeah, I like the House of Black retain. I think they're just beyond dominant. Just
oh
yeah.
yeah.
So this is just one of the most solid factions, without a doubt. It's going to take something huge to get the titles off them. So I think that overall pretty good. Nothing really to anything to linger on there. Any thoughts on that?
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like I'm in the same boat as you where I didn't see much. Maybe I was just like taking a dab or some shit, but
Yeah, just doing some
yeah.
extracurriculars. Like I said, just being on my phone, checking in on shit, and just like listening in. Just like I was kind of in that boat where like, oh, maybe I don't think they're immediately going to go from winning tag titles to trios tag titles, but still putting on a good show. And like I said, hopefully it did give me, like I said, the unpredictability of like, oh, could they win it? There has been a bunch of false finishes, and like, oh, and then it ends up being the House of Black retaining. So like, oh, cool. Okay, so it is exactly what I wanted it to be. So, but it still was like, hey, shaking it up. Could have been something
Yeah.
else.
That's the
Onto
best part
that.
about AEW.
Yeah,
I really
and
never know.
onto something that actually did lead to something that was shaken up and was out of the blue, not expected, didn't see this coming at all. Jade Cargill retains at the time, goes 60-0 against Taya Valkyrie, which the match itself was fine. And then at the end, an unexpected challenge was issued, and out comes Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander coming from just recovering from another torn ACL. Was that
Yeah,
the injury?
tore both her ACLs,
Yeah, on
and she
separate basically just
yeah, on separate
one after the
occasions.
other. Yeah, not at the same time, which would just be absolutely brutal. Yeah, just everyone huge pop, and then she gets the she gets the streamers and the confetti afterward, which is pretty funny. But yeah, just yeah, good for her because we've been a lot of people online, a lot of people probably in the company were like, hey, she deserves it. Trying to actually trying to get a push for to have the title. If she did already have it longer than the 2 months or whatever before she got injured or something like that. So good for Statlander. Glad that she was able to
Yeah.
make this. Maybe a little like I was saying this because they've been pushing like the undefeated streak and like who's gonna win, who's gonna take the title off of her. Maybe the call would have been to Mercedes Moné, but she also unfortunately went and got injured not willingly. Make it sound like she went out and did it at the store, like went out and did it at the store, like, oh, I can get an ankle injury, let me just get that really quick. No, just I think that would have been the game plan for Mercedes Moné to come in and just do a quick little match and win the title off of her really quick or something like that. But this is also a good audible if that was the game plan. Like I said, I don't know. I'm not in Tony Khan's little notebook that he has. So good on her. Like I said, some people were just sick of Jade Cargill. Some people were just on the boat of like, what are they gonna do? How can they make it interesting to get the title off of her? Who is next? And yeah, so it was a good call. Glad to see Chris Statlander back and good to see her with the title. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love Chris Statlander, so I've always wanted her to win the title off of Jade. I was not expecting that, so that it was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So overall, yeah, that a couple of quick, maybe a false finish or two, and then she basically just gets into her little, was it like a power bomb or was it I don't even know, like a
I I already forget what she did, but
oh, it's like it's like a DD. I don't know, man. It's crazy. I don't know. She won. She
yeah,
got one
she
too.
did it.
She did her finisher and she won. So good for her. Uh, Again, maybe out of order, but just in terms of what's being thrown at me, the second to last match was the fatal four-way for the AEW championship between the four pillars: Jungle Jack Perry, MJF, Darby Allin, and Sammy Guevara. The traditionalist in me wanted the World Heavyweight Championship to be the actual main event. Maybe they were running the double main event type moniker that WWE has, but I was okay with it in hindsight because we were also sitting there the entire time like, man, not just us too, also online people were complaining, man, this crowd was beyond dead. And even to the point of asking like, hey, a Double or Nothing should be out of Vegas next year. They want it somewhere else. And you know what? Yeah, if you're gonna have this pit, I mean, maybe it was the audio, maybe it was the crowd itself. And what? Don't get on the internet and be like, oh, there were no people in there. Did you see Brian Alvarez's picture? Yeah, everyone's seats are like that there's no one sits in front of the hard camera. Are you stupid? Go to everybody else's posts and realize that when you back up, the whole arena was filled. But like I said, didn't seem that way from the audio and just maybe the lack of energy from this crowd. So again, in hindsight, did I want the main event MJF to be the last match, the main event, the meat and potatoes of the show? Yeah, but I'm glad that they put them on before the absolute exhausting chaos that was going to happen afterward. Exhausting in a good way, because
Yeah.
considering it was long and everyone's everywhere in the Anarchy in the Arena match. So I think that was a good idea to not exactly that, to give whatever energy that this crowd had for this four pillars match. They didn't exhaust them and then just put them on after John Moxley had bludgeoned everyone to death or whatever. So that was good. In terms of the match itself, amazing spots between the they're all four in a square, and they all have a hold on each other. An ankle lock on MJF. MJF's got the headlock on Jack Perry. Jack Perry got the headlock on Darby. Darby's got the the leg lock on Jungle Boy. Just whatever, exactly that. There's that. There's all the high flying parts. The very early MJF talking shit parts. Just it was a great match. It was a great match, and it was exactly what I was trying to point out, that one, put a main event, whatever, double main event underneath these guys' belts, be able to say that they could carry a pay-per-view. And exactly that. They were in a match for the title already. They could run these all solo, all interchangeably, and it's going to be great. So it's going to be basically how it's going to be from, I would think, the next 15, 20 years. I don't know. I feel like that's safe to say.
They had a
Obviously,
spot in that match that I really liked too. I didn't notice it until Twitter pointed it out to me, but I mean, I saw it, but I guess I didn't put two and two together. But if they all did their mentors
yes,
finishers to each other, so like, yeah, Darby did the Stinger Death Drop, and then Jungle Boy did the Kill Switch, and Sammy did the Code Breaker, and then MJF did the crossroads.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I was like, damn, that's really cool.
That was exactly. That was a fun homage spot. It's just little stuff like that. And even if you want to throw in before that, like Sammy had his little lucha, the Latino heat to Eddie Guerrero. A lot of people do that. He does that in a couple matches already, but just exactly that. Just a fun
Sorry, I didn't
match.
mean to cut you
Oh,
off.
no, no, no. You
Just-
no. That was exactly it. I kind of actually forgot about that. I would have completely breezed over that. Yeah, that was, dude, like I said, overall great match. A little later in the night, like I said, it was a couple of party favors in between, so I can't remember exactly what went down, but the final ending being uh
it was
MJF is working his wrist after he had just power bombed Darby off the top rope or something like that. So he's like, "Oh, my wrist, my wrist." So that's how he gets the ring onto his finger later on and shit like that. And then there's a whole fallout after that. But then the final spot is essentially the coffin drop onto Jungle Boy, but MJF sneaks in the title. So Darby lands on the title, which, again, this is the most devastating finisher. So it hurts it hurts Jungle Boy just as equally as it hurts Darby. And he was able to win again with the headlock takeover 1, 2, 3. MJF retains the AEW
on
World Heavyweight
Darby,
Champion
so fuck him.
on Darby, so we can continue that. That'll probably be the first go of people that are going to be interchangeably going for this title again. So overall, again, I love that. If that was the main event, I would have been okay with it. But again, having the anarchy in the arena just for the sake of energy, fine with that too.
There's just so much going on in that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So another good tick in the belt of MJF matches in my mind, and just overall, again, these guys can all just say that they were a part of a very solid pay-per-view match overall, and for the World
Oh
Heavyweight
yeah.
Championship. So again, bouncing off the walls. Was it a 5-star Dave Meltzer banger? Not necessarily, but it definitely lived up to a lot of hype that it created for sure. So between all the excuse me, all the promos that they were on, they were constantly on. I feel like they were on, excuse me, every single one of those four were on Dynamite at least one time in some sort of sense, whether they were having a match or an in-ring promo or a backstage interview or a regular, just already preconceived, a regular pre-rolled promo ready to go. You saw them every single week. And like I said, not forcefully, but just to be able to set up and to be able to sell this match. And I feel like it lived up to some big expectations. So there you go. That's why I'll leave it on that. Any final lingering thoughts on the four pillars?
Yeah, I loved. I mean, yeah, it was great. Everyone had a great performance throughout the whole thing, and definitely elevates everyone, just like I was hoping it would. So we'll see what they do next with MJF.
Exactly. Hopefully, people do looking through it with that lens of, did it elevate everyone? Absolutely, and exactly that. It continue. Everyone's elevated, and still the best guy that pushes the most stuff is still the champ, being MJF, at least in my opinion. So
Yeah.
there you go. Another solid one right there, and we'll leave it with the anarchy in the arena between the elite, making up of the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Page versus the Blackpool Combat Club of John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Wheeler Yuta, and Claudio Castagnoli. so, so the guy that's rocking blackface comes out and sings.
Oh my God. Sorry. Which we were saying when we were watching, it looked like he had a mask on, but like he definitely had blackface. Like he had half
Yes,
of
there
a
was
mask on.
there was some paint underneath on his cheeks for sure. He had a black mask on. That wasn't the point of the thing. So just just I guess an homage, a callback to last year of them not being able to turn off the music. So
I
so there you
liked
go.
that.
So they had a live band to make sure that didn't happen, but they would repeat the song, and we were just joking like, they're not doing it again. 2, 3, 4, wild thing. So yeah, it was that part was fun. Just couple to just I just kind of trying to think of the crazy spots. Just blood
Right
everywhere.
here.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, the explosive shoe, the tax into the foot of
Yeah.
that was absolutely gruesome, absolutely brutal. Yeah, then they all seem to get their spot on each other. Don Callis gets involved, gets the screwdriver involved, screws over Kenny Omega once again. We thought we were going to get a reunion of Omega. Well, we kind of did with Omega and Hangman working together. We thought we were going to get the buckshot V trigger finisher, but I think that was interrupted. I think that was one of the spots that was interrupted by Don Callis, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So just just having some good calls back like that. The spot with Claudio doing the big
The
spin,
spin, yeah, and like
the
the
big
concession
spin. Yeah,
area.
that was a great spot. Simultaneously, Kenny Omega or Moxley, I think they were both backdropped onto the poker chip that had barbed wire and glass
Oh
duct taped
yeah,
to it.
that's right.
So that was a brutal spot right there. Brutal and gruesome in a good way. Oh, there you go.
Wasn't Matt getting like pile drived in a pickup truck or something
Yeah,
outside?
yeah.
There's so much shit going
That's
on.
basically where that led to after the concession stand spot. They were all the way out in the parking lot and got pile driven into the back of a pickup truck. Left for dead out there. That's where he comes back with the explosive shoe.
Yeah, and I wonder how the fuck they did that.
Yeah,
That's
that was a fun spot. That was cool. Then
it's
that
so
later they
wild.
later got that shoe and it was all like burnt up at the bottom. So yeah, you can only
Like they
imagine
must
that.
have had something in it that someone pressed a button. Like it had to be perfectly timed. Like I
Oh
don't know.
yeah,
There's no way where like it activated when he kicked him. Like someone had to press something or like I don't know how they did it, but it was
there's
awesome.
wires, man. There's something in there, man. There's
It's
something.
it's cool because Matt Jackson, there's like they have this
Always
show
a
on
shoe
YouTube.
lore.
Yeah, they have that show on YouTube where it's like they go to some sneaker store and like people like celebrities will just buy a bunch of shoes and shit and they interview them and stuff. And this is one thing that Matt Jackson always like he said is the one thing he always wanted to do was have an explosive super kick somehow. So it's cool that they were finally able to do that. However the
Oh,
fuck they did it.
always
I'm sure
something with
that
a
they'll
shoe.
explain it on being the
The all
elite or
access, or
something.
yeah, being the elite. Yeah, between the explosive shoe, they had the thumbtack shoe. There's
Yeah.
been a bunch of other shoe lore. I mean, between them just stealing the Dioros, the really expensive ones that over the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic. Uh, yeah, they're really involved with the shoe, and they sometimes put it under like what would it be? Uh, God, they throw it in there underneath everything so you don't even notice it. So it's nice and in between the lines. And sometimes it's like right in your face, like, all right, we're doing a shoe spot.
Yeah.
Was undertones and I don't know. I forgot the word. I
You
forgot
don't
the
see the
words.
Usos doing shit like this.
No, you do not. Absolutely not. So
Yeah,
yeah, overall, yeah, after Don Callis gets in there and gets involved and does some more screwy things, fucks over Omega, and I think Wheeler Yuta of all people gets the pin on Kenny, or was it on or was it
I
on?
think he did. Yeah, I think he pinned Kenny.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I know the big thing from that, I don't know if you caught the YouTube or the Twitter talk afterward, the big video, Omega admitting that he's got two friends coming along the way, and everyone's assuming it's Koto Ibushi
Yeah.
and oh Jesus, the Rainmaker.
Oh,
Uh, oh, I can't.
Okada.
Okada. Thank you very much. So
Wow.
yeah, so that was the Anarchy in the Arena. That was Double or Nothing.
Yeah, and
I
the big
Yeah.
thing was that the Takeshita guy joined the
Oh, thank you.
BCC.
Yes, that was yeah.
That's
I would
the
have again would completely overshot
that's
that.
the
Yeah,
big reveal. That's why Kenny lost because it turned like he got attacked by him, and
yeah,
then they all
yeah.
just like did their finishers
We
and
had a
fucked
yeah, a
Kenny up.
hooded figure. Didn't know who it was, and the big reveal was Takeshita after teaming up with Omega multiple times. Omega taking kind of being under his wing, but it was, if you paid attention, like a lot of AEW fans have, there was this small inkling that Don Callis had an interest in Takeshita, and sure enough, it follows through, it pulls through, and yeah, he screws over Omega. It was just really funny that the very next morning was Takeshita's real birthday, and people were putting like happy birthday with like just like the little kid that's like it's like that, like the angry crying. It's like happy birthday.
The fuck you. Yeah, that
So
was
yeah.
a little bit of a shocker there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, a couple of big spots right there. Overall leads to the elite feeling like they got screwed. So it puts them in the position to maybe call a couple recruits over from New Japan or something
And
like that. A
do
couple of
their
Omega's friends.
what's their war games called? I
Blood and
forget.
guts.
Yeah, so they could do that.
Do a blood and yeah, you can have a big blood and guts with the BCC. Yeah. Yeah, overall the show, like I said, some stinkers, some big matches, and some power hitters. Can I sit here and say it was the best pay per view? No, I don't think so. I mean, was it the best AEW pay per view? No.
No.
Was it better than most WWE and just wrestling pay per views overall? Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
was it better than Night of Champions? Probably, yeah.
yeah,
I didn't
absolutely.
watch it at all, but yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, when you actually have time to build up, and you have all these about 3 months, 4 months to build between shows, you can actually we have some moving pieces and have some stuff that people care about and that are actually worth a shit. So
Yeah.
that's always nice. It's always a nice change of pace with that. So overall, I'll give a thumbs up on Double or Nothing. It moved, like I said, moved the storylines across, kept me entertained, kept the titles on a couple of people that I wanted to reintroduce some old faces, like I said, Statlander and Takeshi, I suppose, getting a little resurgence, and then yeah, just some more blood feuds. Everything's still wrapping up. We're still ready to go. We'll be have a fun little dynamite on Wednesday. And yeah, that'll be wrapping up the results right there. And let me go ahead and get into our last little thing. Yeah, honestly, if that's all good, that's basically the wrestling portion, and then we can just yeah. Any final thoughts on just Double or Nothing in general?
Um, no, yeah, I thought it was good. Not the best, like it's not the best pay-per-view by a long shot, but they did what they needed to do, and it was good. So, till the next one.
Yeah. like I said, hopefully get a better crowd. Hopefully get a better crowd,
Yeah,
someone more
that's
energized, maybe go somewhere else, something. People are considering, just to be in the theme of still gambling, Atlantic City, New Jersey, something like that.
hmm. The
That if
crowd
that's where it
can
is.
play a huge part in the show, and they played a huge part in this one. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
It made a lot of stuff feel more lackluster than it should have.
that's the difference between, I mean, everyone was like, that's why everyone blew Backlash out of proportion. It's like, oh, the show was, I mean, overall the show was
Yeah, to,
but
people thought
everyone
that
was
it was
like,
one of the best shows ever because the
because
crowd
the
was so
crowd, just
crazy.
because of the
Yeah,
crowd. That was what I heard every single time. I was like, man, that show was not that good. And then everyone's like, but did you hear the crowd? I'm like, yes, I
yeah,
heard the crowd, because they're starving for any amount of wrestling. So yeah, I know it'll be, and to me, they're like, oh, they should do that all the time. It's gonna be the law of diminishing returns every single time. But if you feel like if you think that's the answer, so be it. But I don't think that's gonna be not gonna be the same sort of reaction every single time. But
yeah.
yes,
And I'll
exactly what you
just
just
say
said.
this: if you thought that Puerto Rican crowd was crazy, say till there's 80,000 fans in Wembley Stadium screaming for AEW. Ugh. Oh, I cannot wait for that as an AEW fan.
Yeah, that's gonna be a huge pop. That's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a big night. Phew, yeah, just
I
overall,
mean,
like I
fuck,
said.
even when they're back in the United Center in 2 weeks for AEW
Yeah, that's what I thought
Collision,
you were
they're
gonna say.
gonna be,
Put CM Punk in front of Chicago.
yeah,
Put him in
wait
20.
till you see
Put
how
CM
we
Punk in
are.
front of 20,000 Chicagoans. It'll be like as if there's 100,000 people in the building. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that was also everyone's excuse. Like, yeah, I've been to this crowd, I've been to that crowd, I've been to Chicago crowds, but that Puerto Rico crowd in Backlash, that had to be the best. Like, I'm sorry, no way, no way. I'm sorry. You can have a very passionate crowd, and like you just said, the crowd can make or break the show, and it almost broke this show, this
Yeah.
AEW show. But and it's exactly that. You can
And
make a raw caliber pay-per-view, what would be just regular shows you can throw on free TV, make that feel like an actual good show, and then yeah, you're like, oh man, that was a great pay-per-view. Man, it's okay. Just the crowd hyped it up. So sorry. And what was your last thought? What was your thought?
people talk shit about like them, like there's so much people say like, oh, they're Chicago again, like another Chicago show. It's like, well, watch them. The crowd in Chicago is always crazy as fuck and into the show every time. They've been here so many times, and we've never had a show like it was in Vegas for Double or Nothing. So I'll tell you, we'll always be fully invested in Chicago, and that's why they always come here for the big shows, because
Yeah.
they know that we're not gonna disappoint. So
Always engaged, constantly making chants. I mean, the "Scissor Me Daddy" chant is still very alive and well. That was in Chicago.
yeah,
So just stuff like that. I don't know, just little things like that. Yeah, just unless they realize it for themselves. I mean, they're just not going to really appreciate it. So
yeah.
we are there. We've been there every single time, so we can actually decipher what is a good crowd and what isn't. So,
We
but I
could
mean,
say that we've been to every show they've had in Chicago. If it's been at the fucking United Center, the one in Chicago, I
the
forget what it's
Wintrust,
called. Yeah, the Wintrust or the
the
Now
Now Arena.
Arena, which was called something else. The Sears Center Arena when we were going there.
Yep.
Still, though, we've been going to every AW show, so we're fucking true fans over
Yeah.
here.
We were at All In. We were at everything. It's
We
just
were.
yeah, that's great. And we love it. So it's
I
like I
mean,
said, to
it's just
hear
it's
that,
always awesome just reminiscing
yeah,
on that. We've been to so many shows,
yeah.
man.
That's why it does. Yeah, I feel like it is a little personal sly when they're like, yeah, that was the best crowd ever. No, Chicago's always the best crowd.
Yeah.
Sorry, hate to burst your bubble there, Jim. So there you go. That was Double or Nothing. That was basically everything in wrestling. I'm gonna quickly send them home happy. Just as simply, it was, like I said, it was Memorial Day weekend this past weekend. So it was, like I said, hopefully everyone had a good one. Like I said, just take the time. Hopefully, say you love you to everyone that you know. Maybe actually take the time, call someone out of the blue instead of texting them. Like
Huh.
I said, that's always a fun thing to do. I know your buddy just did that not too long ago, and he actually went up and hung out with him the other day, our
Oh
buddy
yeah.
Connor. So that was
Yeah.
always cool and always nice.
Great
It's just
guy. Love Connor over here.
yeah, absolutely. So like I said, just happy. Hopefully everyone had a happy Memorial Day. I mentioned what we did. We had a couple brewskis, chilled, watched the game, and then we enjoyed some wrestling the very next day. And in that time that we were able to enjoy some adult beverages, some sat down and talked and able to break some bread. Something would came up, and it is official, ladies and gentlemen. UCW is back. UCW will be back July, the weekend of 4th of
Yeah,
July,
some point around July 4th, we've had
whatever that date is.
discussions.
The
I
day
saw July 4th is on a Tuesday, so it might not be on the 4th of July, but around that time for sure.
we're pushing for it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going. This will be UCW 5.
I
UCW
think
5.
so, yeah. I said UCW 4 in the chat, but yeah, I think it'll be 5.
I think this will be UCW 5. And I mean, we've been at a hiatus, a little bit of a hiatus. Some people had we had to call some people. Some people were working. They were actually working overseas. I know we actually had a rough time getting a hold of the Gator. There's not a lot of signal in the swamp,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
that was a tough go. He was actually
And
hibernating as well. I think they hibernate. Uh,
and Dragonov, it's just so
yeah, I
tough
mean
getting
that's
him over here.
obviously they're in a war torn country. I mean he's doing what he can, doing what he can. So yeah, Jeet Dragunov getting him in touch, but as soon as he heard that the opportunity for the UCW World Heavyweight Champion having a match with that, he immediately got on the first flight. So he's going to be over here in training in the States. Hopefully, Chucky the Cheesehead Provolone is ready for that. We got an undercard set, I believe. And yeah, I think Johnny Rockets haven't heard much from him. We'll have to see where he stands on the rest of the issues. So, ladies and gentlemen, UCW 5. Hopefully that'll get the hype going, get people ready to roll out of their seats. Definitely take the time I'll plug it in at the end. Maybe some old UCW, some clips and shit like that. I mean, I'll just
Yeah.
plug the videos at the end.
I'm
But there you
grinning
are.
from ear to ear thinking about UCW. I didn't know if I didn't know if people still wanted it. We were at our buddy AJ's the other day and he was asking us about it. He said people still ask him about it all the time. So we're fucking in, man. When we will be there ready. And Chucky, the Cheesehead Provolone, will be ready to defend his title against anybody that steps in front of him, even some. Oh, we'll save it. We'll save it.
We will save it indeed. And yes,
I can't
that
let
being
that alter ego come out yet. It's not time.
no, it is not. We got plenty of time. Got to get some training in. I got to go run around the block before I go throw up or something. Uh, eh, with that being said, until next time, let's see. This was episode 20. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, liking, sharing, subscribing, sharing us around. Be sure to follow us everywhere on the Twitters. You can follow me personally, follow Mike personally as well, as all those are in the Twitter bio. Be sure to check me live on Friday, twitch.tv/sportstownshy. I don't know what I'll be talking. Definitely NBA Finals Game 1 recap. And then there'll be something else in between, I'm sure. So definitely tune into that. And then
We will be there.
absolutely. Alan, thank you for taking your notes. Troy, happy birthday to Troy. His birthday's coming up soon. So we'll be enjoying that maybe down at the putt shack.
Mini golf this
There you go,
weekend.
going mini golfing. That's gonna be fun on a bun. Yeah. So I absolutely not only like I said, thank you for that. Thank you for listening, Troy. Happy birthday. Happy early birthday. And then yeah, just take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Be sure to tune in next week. We'll see you. Peace.
Go Packers.
No Packers.